think he had an air horn. And he said, what I'm here to do today is if anybody gives you or any of the umpires any trouble, he goes, I'm going to start ringing this cowbell. And I think the other thing he had was an air horn. He said, but I'm going to give them a hard time. And by them, he means the parent or spectator who's giving the ump a hard time. And I said, okay. I thought it was a little odd, and it's certainly rare. It's certainly rare to see that, somebody out there advocating for the umpires. We're going to welcome him in now by phone. We're calling him on the air, T-Bone the Cow, who showed up when it was 85 degrees at a baseball field dressed as a cow yesterday. Good morning, T-Bone. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Jeff. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, you sound good. Let me thank you for showing up over the weekend. It was a 3-day tournament, and you were sticking up for umps over the weekend. Why did you do that? What made you do that?
Well, you kind of alluded to this, Jeff, but last time I checked, no one shows up to cheer for the ump. And why is that? It's a shame. The game could not happen without you guys, but no one's on your side, and I don't understand it.
So there was a particular situation yesterday, and I don't want to get into all the details. There was a play at the plate. I was the plate umpire, and a young man was on third base, and the ball gets by the catcher, so now he's going to try to score, and he runs home. And it was a close play, and the young man slid, but his leg was elevated in the air. So from what I saw, and I'm not going to sit here and say I was right. Sometimes umpires get it wrong, right? Sometimes, and maybe the kid was safe. But his leg, to me, looked to be in the air, so he didn't touch the plate. His leg crossed the plate, but he never touched it. And the pitcher caught the ball and tagged him on the leg. So I call him out. Well, I believe it was the young man's parents were sitting behind the plate, and they start yelling, oh, how could you make that call? It's terrible. What are you doing? What are you looking at? All this other stuff. And I just looked at them, and I said, his foot was in the air. He didn't touch the plate. The kid tagged his knee. He's out. And over my shoulder, I can kind of hear, hey, great call, Blue. That's a good call. Way to go, Jeff. And
in a cow uniform.
In a cow uniform. Now, listen, I need to say this because sometimes fans will chastise you and be sarcastic when you make a bad call, or if they don't like the call, they'll say, way to go, Blue. You got that one right, sarcastically. Well, he wasn't being sarcastic. Do you want to mention what you said to the parents and how that conversation unfolded?
Well, really quick background. I had sent a letter to both teams saying, I am a neutral party. I am not going to say a word the whole game unless you guys make me speak up. So once they complained to you twice, I felt the need to speak up. To me, it was a 50-50 call. You got it right. Once they spoke up, I'm like, great call, Jeff. And then they looked over at me. I looked over at them, and they're like, why are you harassing me? And I said, why are you harassing Jeff?
Which I appreciate so much because nobody ever does that at the games.
I do have to ask the question, though. What inspired this T-Bone fella to show up at a baseball game wearing a cow uniform? I need to understand that one.
We don't have time for this right now, but I grew up on a dairy farm up in Krogan, New York.
Bless you.
I own a Farmhaul H tractor.
Yes.
From like the 50s or 60s that my brother-in-law has refurbed, and he uses it tinkering around, like a gentleman farmer. But like theoretically, I still own it, but I don't get up there much. So it actually ties into what you were talking about before. But it's a tribute to my past. It's a tribute to my father who passed away from cancer, a lifelong dairy farmer. So every once in a while, I want to do random acts of caring and kindness. But when I put on the cow suit, it's a random act of cow kindness. So it ties into a family policy of just doing good things for good people.
Well, I want to, as Farmer Ben, the voice of Oneida County agriculture and a retired dairy farmer, I want to say thank you for taking the courage to wear a cow uniform out in general public. And God bless you for doing that and being a promoter for the dairy industry. Just by you wearing a cow uniform truly is a promotion. So thank you.
You're welcome. And I do need to add, I don't know how cows do it, because that leather does not breathe, and I was dying inside that cow outfit.
I can imagine. It was hot.
That's why you see cows gathered next to the woods this time of year.
Yeah, it was quite hot out there. Did you have any other interactions with fans over the weekend? How bad was it?
Oh, I should have. That specific game was what I was doing, because those two teams on Wednesday night here in Syracuse, conspired to act so poorly that a 15-year-old umpire ended the game early and kicked them off the field and told them to go home.
So okay, you started talking about this yesterday, and I wasn't quite following. So there was a game earlier this week, and I don't want to mention the teams, but the two teams that were on the field yesterday, they were involved in a game Wednesday, and the umpire was 15. He's a kid. He's a kid learning this trade. So take it away.
So I unfortunately wasn't there. I don't play, with travel teams, sometimes you play with a team, sometimes you don't. So I wasn't there, but just adults behaving badly, no one speaking up, no one telling the other parent to pipe down, no one being there for the kids specifically, but then no one being there for the ump. And both sides are to blame, but guess what? Both teams blame the other side and are blameless in their mind. But both teams were to blame. But by the end, the ump finally said, "I've had enough. This game is over. Go home." A 15-year-old ump had to kick out adults from a game of 12-year-old kids playing baseball. And I am ashamed for them. So I'm like, this is not going to happen on Sunday morning. So just so you guys know, this tournament was just random bad luck that those two teams came through the tournament and ended up matched up against each other 3.5 days after the 15-year-old ump ended the game.
Unreal. It's unreal. And again, to be clear, we're talking about adults here. We're talking about adults who have 12-year-old kids playing essentially Little League baseball. Yeah, 12U baseball and travel tournament. They don't call it Little League, but these are Little League age kids. And the parents sometimes get so out of control. Even when the umpire is a couple years older than their children who are on the field, they just can't. They just can't help themselves. Yeah, go right ahead.
So the sign I was holding was from the Lorax, which in the Lorax, is about the trees and being environmentally conscious. But I use it for other things. So the quote from the Lorax is, "Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not." So I was standing there moot, I guess, because I was a cow, holding a sign that said, "Unless," just to let people know, like, unless we care enough to change this, nothing is going to change.
Yeah, T-Bone, I really appreciate it. I thank you for sticking up for me. This is a comical way to do it, but it's certainly necessary, and I really appreciate you. And speaking of comedy, I had a chance to meet your two sons, and I'll let you introduce them. If you want to give their names, you can, but I understand maybe you don't want people to know the names of your kids. They have a couple of jokes that are baseball related. They're both baseball players, but they had myself and a couple of the other umpires in stitches after the game yesterday.
Let's just stick with the Dr. Seuss theme, and we'll call them Thing 1 and Thing 2.
I like it. Okay. So Thing 1, good morning. How are you? And I understand you have a joke for us. These are Chuck Norris baseball jokes. The legend of Chuck Norris, and T-Bone has incorporated it into his baseball family.
Thing 1, go ahead.
Every time Chuck Norris steals a base, the stadium security arrests an umpire.
Smitty liked that one. Good job, Thing 1. Thing 2, take it away.
Chuck Norris was the only player in baseball to hit a leadoff grand slam.
And for those who don't know, obviously you need the bases loaded to have a grand slam. Right. There is... Go ahead.
They both have one more for you, but you don't have to have the bases loaded if you're Chuck Norris.
Well, that's true. That is the uniqueness of Mr. Chuck Norris. Thing 1, is it you again?
Yes.
Chuck Norris struck out the side on 4 pitches.
And Thing 2.
Last season, Chuck Norris stole 3 home runs, robbed them, while playing catcher.
You can't do that.
Well, Chuck Norris can. He certainly can. Yeah. T-Bone, thank you again. The fact that you've got your young ones involved in baseball, I always say this all the time. I've always thought this. Baseball is the game of life. If you don't like the pitch that's outside, but the ump calls it a strike, it's still a strike. And what do you have to do? You have to make an adjustment, and you have to deal with it. And you need to be better prepared on the next pitch outside. And that's just a quick example of why I say baseball is the game of life. You have to adapt, you have to adjust, and you have to be prepared. So I want to thank you again for showing up and doing what you did over the weekend. Unfortunately, you did have to get into action because a couple of parents didn't like a call. And frankly, I wasn't even going to say this, but it was a game that got out of hand. They were arguing a call in a 12-run game.
A 12-run game.
So it's one of those things. But T-Bone, thanks for taking some time this morning. Thing one and thing two, you guys are hilarious. Thank you for the jokes, and I wish you luck in your baseball careers.
And keep supporting, wearing your cow uniform and supporting the dairy farmers. Thank you.
Thank you for enriching our lives, Jeff, and you're the man. Stay classy.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That is T-Bone the cow, who just happened to run into me yesterday on a day we're talking about agriculture and farming. So I really appreciate that.
This is an urgent message for investors over the age of 50. Silver is on the verge of making history. This is an opportunity you can't miss. We're Advantage Gold, the #1 rated precious metals company in America, and we've helped thousands of investors move their IRA, 401k, or retirement account into physical gold and silver safely and securely. Call 800-900-8000 now and get our free 2025 Silver Investor Report and learn why now could be the best time to own physical silver. In this eye-opening guide, we reveal why silver is surging and could make new all-time highs, how to protect your retirement from inflation and market chaos, and the little-known IRS loophole that lets you own gold, silver, and even platinum, 100% tax and penalty-free. Plus, you'll learn how to get up to $10,000 in free silver with a qualifying purchase. But don't wait for this opportunity to pass you by. Call us now and learn how to own physical silver today the smart way. Call 800-900-8000 now. That's 800-900-8000. Or visit us at AdvantageGold.com. Past performance may vary. Consult your financial or tax advisor. Call us at 800-900-8000.
Beautiful woodwork adds warmth and charm to any kitchen. But years of use can leave your cabinets worn and faded. When you call Enhance, we'll make your cabinets as good as new again in as little as 1 day for a lot less than you'd pay for traditional refinishing or replacements. Whether you want to renew your cabinet's original finish or completely change their color, just tell us the look you want and we'll help you get it. Or bring your hardwood floors back to life. With most Enhance renewals, you can use your floors again the same day. Plus, there's no mess, no dust, and no odors. Call Enhance today for a free in-home consultation. We'll explain the process, we'll show you how your cabinets or floors will look when we're done, and we promise you'll be really pleased with the price. And when you trust Enhance, you'll get the skilled workmanship and attention to detail we bring to every job. There's no obligation. Call us now at 738-1113. 738-1113.
When my business was taking off, our old phone system just wasn't cutting it. We needed fewer missed calls, more flexibility, and better visibility into customer conversations. That's when I found OpenPhone.
OpenPhone is the all-in-one system for small businesses and growing teams. Manage multiple numbers from one device, work seamlessly as a team with shared numbers, and stay organized with AI-powered call transcripts, summaries, and next steps, so nothing gets missed and your team responds faster. OpenPhone integrates with tools you already use, like Slack, HubSpot, and Zapier, so everything's connected and efficient.
Having tried just about every relevant small business phone system, OpenPhone is truly in a league of its own. It's now essential to how we run our business, and I couldn't be happier with the value it brings.
See why over 60,000 businesses trust OpenPhone. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
Mattress Express's summer sale is on. Get a king for the price of a queen for the price of a full, and a full for the price of a twin, starting at just $4.99. Beautiful select therapeutic mattresses. Go to mattressexpressny.com.
Are you struggling with neck pain, back, knee, wrist pain? This is Bill Keeler, and I'm talking about Revive Softwave Therapy with Dr. Timothy Del Medico. For me, this has worked. It is FDA cleared, non-invasive. It's all about making the pain go away. The new patient special is just $99. Call today, 315-725-8427. Revive Softwave Therapy with Dr. Timothy Del Medico. 315-725-8427. Call today.
WIBX. This is WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
We are back. It's First News Keeler in the morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. During the break, Smitty's filling me in on the latest Mets deals. And the one that you find to be the biggest is actually a player, I think, returning to the Seattle Mariners. So can you explain what that is, Smitty?
The third baseman from the Arizona Diamondbacks, Suarez, I believe is the name. If I'm correcting it wrong, please let me know.
Eugenio Suarez, yeah.
Got traded to the Seattle Mariners.
But he was in Seattle a couple years ago.
Well,
so it's a bit of a return for him.
Reunion to
Yeah.
it.
And the Mets were involved in a deal. They got rid of Jose Butto.
And Blake
That's
Treadwell.
Fine with me.
To the Giants, and then they picked up another reliever from the St. Louis Cardinals.
The Mets got shut out yesterday.
And the Yankees won in dramatic fashion, come from behind, and they picked up Austin Slayer from the Chicago White Sox.
Okay, not familiar with Slayer.
This
myself.
guy's only got 5 home runs, but he's a good lefty outfield. Comes off the bench, and one of the posts or memes I said, he's a replacement for Aaron Judge for right now. No have no power as much as Aaron Judge does.
Well, right, but they need a body to play.
Right.
They're saying he's not going to play the outfield he's not going to play first base while he's
going to DH.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's on the the injured list?
10-day.
And that's an arm issue?
Yeah, he hurt his arm last Thursday when he was in Toronto. I guess he strained a ligament or something.
So, quick, did you agree? Larry called at the end of the program yesterday and talked about Anthony Volpe.
He made an error again last night.
Last night, too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think actually Larry's spot on. He's a liability. I know he's got a decent bat, right? He's got a little pop.
They need to send him down.
Oh, you think send him down?
Yeah.
What Larry was saying was just in the 8th and 9th inning, maybe put in a better shortstop. Are you confident with Ahmed Rosario as your starting shortstop?
Nope.
Right. So I would keep Volpe and just use Rosario strategically for his glove.
But dummy Aaron Boone won't do it.
Okay. Well, sitting in with us this morning, can you grab that mic? Is Angelo DiGiorgio, the founder of Handshake Antiques.
That's me. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning. How are you?
Good to see you. I'm great. Every day's a miracle. Every day that I could sit and look across from you at 6 in the morning is a good morning.
So somebody said to me that we sounded on the air like there was a little friction or something, and this is just kind of the relation.
We hate each other. I think that's the minute the mics are off, we're usually screaming at each other. That's
not true. That there's some kind of a friction, and it's
not
just
at all. Just the opposite, I think.
Yeah, it's just the kind of relationship that we have. And for those that don't know, so Angelo and I will still get together, and there's actually a couple of Town Square folks who get together with us. But have I told you the stuff that they do? So we'll go out and grab something to eat, and they will start
razzing, causing a little trouble, being boisterous.
Being boisterous is one thing. You guys will tell waitresses that maybe like I want a number or
it's your birthday and you just turned
my birthday.
You turned 75 and you knew.
They try to embarrass me in public.
This is our buddy Jeff. He just got out of a coma. It's been 4 years. We're really trying to get him back into the habit of things. Would you give him his number? Yeah.
Yeah, would you give him your number?
Yeah.
And then and I'll be in the bathroom or something, and I'll come back over and sit down, and now the waitress is kind of giving me this look like, oh no, I don't want to deal with this guy. So, and then we also went to, what's the place we went to where you did the birthday thing? It was 5 Points?
That was 5 Points, yeah.
5 Points, the Irish pub down in the Varick Street area. We went in there. I went outside. We ate. I think we had a beer. That was
months ago now.
Yeah, it was the end of May. It was a couple of days before my actual birthday. I just turned 42. I went outside because I have a bad habit. We've talked about this on the show before. Went outside to have a cigarette. And, Angelo's acting like he didn't know that. I come back in, and the bartender and the waitress bring me a slice of cake. They come over, and they're singing me happy birthday. And after they sing me happy birthday again, I was just about to turn 42. I hadn't turned 42 yet. And the young lady looks at me and goes, wow, you just don't even look 53. Happy 53rd birthday.
You rock it, Jeff. You look great.
Thanks.
God
I
bless.
appreciate that. Gas station heroin. Health officials warn of dangerous substances available in stores across the nation. Joining us now from Fox News Radio is Tanya J. Powers. What is gas station heroin? Is this like the bath salt marijuana they were selling and smoking here in central New York for some time?
Yeah, this is kind of the same situation, except this may actually be worse. I think this may be worse. Let me just explain it to you. You can make the decision. So this stuff is called 7-OH. It is by definition an opioid. It is not a scheduled drug yet. That's what the FDA has announced this week. They're moving to make this a scheduled drug with the DEA, a Schedule 1 controlled substance is what they're saying. It's that serious of a product. And at this point, it's sold in convenience stores and vape shops and gas stations and all, kinds of stuff. Those little shots and like the little tablets and things like that usually say something like energy supplements or, okay, it's that kind of, it looks like that is what you're looking for. And it's sold as tablets, gummies, drink mixes, shots, those little, kind of shots like you see at the cash register or whatever at a convenience store. The thing you're looking for to make sure that, you're watching out for this stuff is it's kratom. It's a byproduct. It's a synthetic concentrated byproduct of kratom. Kratom is how you spell that. And it's kind of important to remember that because that could be on the label for some of this stuff. That's how you, tell, okay, what am I getting? Kratom is a plant. It's a tropical tree that's native to Southeast Asia. And Dr. Marty McCary, who's the, head of the FDA, now says this week, he said that this stuff is 13 times more potent than morphine. That is why, that's why they're really concerned about, the spread of this stuff and making sure that they, get it as a controlled substance. Because he said it is scientifically, you look at this, it is by definition an opioid. Some of them are sold under things that may say like energy supplements or kratom shot. That's why I said it's important to remember the word kratom on this. Kratom alkaloid gummies. They're sold as something called hydroxy. Dietary supplements, they say all kinds of things on the labels. If you go to the FDA's website or just Google FDA and 7-OH, there's some information on the FDA's website you can take a look at. There's even a link that they have that takes you to a page that shows you photos of some of the labels of this stuff, so you can say, okay, well, I saw this in my kid's backpack. Maybe this is not a great thing for them to buy at the grocery store, or the gas station. See what I'm saying? So that's why they're trying to get the word out about this stuff.
Tanya, I have to ask this. So when I referenced earlier the bath salts and then synthetic marijuana, this for some people who were taking it, it was having this zombie effect. They walked around and looked like a zombie. Is it a similar thing here?
For what I can understand about this, it is used a lot of times people use kratom to, self-treat different things like pain or anxiety or depression or stuff like that.
I've never heard of this.
I know. This is exact. I literally saw somebody on social media who said that they took some of it earlier, just literally like 3 days ago. And then this week, he comes out with this announcement at the FDA and says, we're going to make this a scheduled drug because this stuff is not something to play with. And all of a sudden, it's kind of you're seeing it everywhere because they're trying to get the word out about it. And again, it's called 7-OH. It could be called hydroxy. It could be called kratom, alkaloid, stuff like that. Look for those kinds of words. That's what you're looking for. But do some homework on this because it's something that we've had enough addiction deaths and situations in our country. Like so many millions of people have died from opioid addiction and overdoses. I mean it's a serious thing, and anybody who's struggled with it or had a family member that struggled with it, you know what I'm talking about. And that's one of the things they're trying to, he said they're trying to get ahead of this. They don't want more of any of that.
So Tanya, the example you just gave about the person who took it 3 days ago, this is an important thing for our listeners to understand too, and I don't know the answer to this. Again, when I refer to bath salts and the synthetic marijuana, people were able to purchase that, for instance, at like what's commonly referred to around here as head shops. places where you can get paraphernalia, etc.
Yeah.
Is this being sold at head shops or actual legitimate gas stations? And there's a misunderstanding as to what this will do to you.
No, it's gas stations and convenience stores and vape shops, things like that. You know, those little shots, those little energy shot kind of things you see sold.
I think I've seen these before, but in a legitimate gas station, and not that these head shops or vape shops aren't legitimate, but you kind of expect there's some kind of expectation that some of this stuff, honestly, is a little maybe not above board, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Right.
But these are actual legitimate gas stations that have this stuff on the shelves. Wow, that's people. Yeah. People often think when they hear this, well, I don't go to those kind of places, so I wouldn't run into this. It might be at a gas station just down the road from you.
Yeah, and I mean, and I want to be clear when I said that, you know, there's marketed as energy shots. Not all energy shots have 7-OH in them, which is why I said these are the things you should look for on labels when you're taking a look at the stuff. Because it can be on there, it can be sneaky about it. It may say kratom, and you may be going, oh, okay, that sounds like a great supplement. That's what this is. It's sold under a variety of things. And the FDA has actually sent about, I think, letters to like 7 different companies that are putting this stuff out, telling them, okay, it's illegal to sell this. You can't do this. And so that's one of the reasons they're also taking the action to make this a scheduled drug. But it is pretty serious as far as, you know, the addiction properties. And like I said, it is, according to Dr. McCary, it is basically a synthetic, you know, opioid. And that's why they're moving to make sure people know what this is, keep an eye out for it, and, you know, be protected.
Tanya, fantastic job on this. Thank you.
I'm just passing it along.
No, I appreciate it. This is something I think people might be right in front of them or their children, and they have no idea. And the fact that you're underscoring the different names, 7-OH, kratom, or hydroxy, as ingredients people need to look out for, because it is possible you could be in line at a gas station and think, oh, this is just one of these things. There's extra caffeine in these things. They don't do anything.
Yeah.
But this is serious stuff. So they're trying to designate it as a controlled substance. Fox's Tanya J. Powers, thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, Tanya is obviously phenomenal. We touch base with her almost every single day here on the program. And I say we, like I'm here every single day. I'm not, but you understand what I mean. The program does, the show, the Keeler in the Morning Show. And Ange, you're a guy who's into TikTok trends, and you know some things.
Funny enough, this is something that I've seen a lot about. There's some energy drinks out there that people are saying, you know, they're posting videos about, like, do not think that this is just, you know, a 5-hour energy thing. There are people who are actually getting addicted to this and don't realize it because they think, oh, you know, they're going there, they're getting a bottle of water and maybe a bag of chips and filling up their tank, and they go, oh, you want to know what? A little 5-hour energy right at the register? And then 2 weeks later, they're, you know, they can't go without, you know, getting 3 or 4 of them a day. And from the videos that I've seen, which I've actually seen organically, people are saying that it's horribly addictive, and it's worse than anything else I've ever seen people go through, because, again, it's like, if
you had no idea.
No,
no. And you had no idea.
Yeah. Like can't go a day without getting 2 or 3 in.
So this is speculation on my part, but this is one of the things that I wonder. Okay, so maybe is it labeled as a supplement? Is that why? The FDA doesn't have to approve supplements. Is that the case?
I think that the one that I saw, I forget the name of it, but it's packaged in, you know, those tiny little like at the register candy bar boxes that are popped open and they got the logo.
Yeah.
It looks like that, and they're tiny little, like they look like essential oil capsules, like just small little, you know, shooters of an energy drink, and it's not.
All right, so again, the ingredients to look out for: 7-OH, hydroxy, or kratom.
And kratom is what is coming up for this. If you see the videos on TikTok, whatever this brand is also kratom.
Okay,
has it in it.
Where I was going, I started making a point, and then I guess we kind of drifted off of it. I don't think the FDA has to approve supplements, because I guess my question was going to be, they're moving now to designate this as a controlled substance, but if you and I put a product of any kind out there with some never before heard of ingredient, you would assume it would have to have approval from the FDA.
Which is a great segue to our new plug. Jeff and I are opening up a new energy business.
We're not.
You think coffee's good? Wait until you have Jeff and Ange's special sauce. Great for burgers, fries. Throw it on your hot dog. Bring it to a ball game. Jeff and Angelo's special sauce.
But do you understand that?
Yeah, no,
if
and
we
you're
were
right.
selling something as a special sauce, it would all the ingredients would have to pass would have to have been approved by the FDA.
Right.
In this particular case, because I think it's branded
you are correct.
As
the
a
FDA
supplement.
does not need to
They
approve dietary supplements.
There's products out there with things that you've never heard of before, and apparently it's super addictive, and it gets you high to some level. That's really dangerous. Think of somebody driving on a long road trip, and you mentioned a particular brand name, and to be clear, 5 Hour Energy has nothing to do with this.
No.
But you mentioned everybody knows what that means, right? It's an energy drink.
You also recognize what that looks like when you see it on a shelf.
It's a colorful, get your attention, but that's a legitimate product, and again, that's not tied to this. So you might see something and assume it's in the same vein as a 5 Hour Energy type product. Let's say you're driving across the country, or I don't know, you're headed someplace. You're headed down to New York City to watch the Giants in training camp, something like that. You go to a baseball game, Yankees game. You pull off at a rest area or a gas station, and you go, they don't. Let me just grab this. This is an energy thing. And I think a lot of times people just think those are loaded with caffeine.
Right.
And it'll give you like a shot of energy. Obviously, there's a crash afterward, an energy crash. But the idea that you could legitimately purchase this at a store, pay sales tax on it, that's another interesting thing. And then it included an ingredient that can really mess you up, really get you high if you're behind the wheel, it sounds like, and then also be incredibly addictive. That's really scary. I wonder if the FDA needs to be stepping in and approving all the ingredients that they put in supplements.
And coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, Jeff and I will try some.
Very funny. Very funny. You said we're going into business together. We're not, but you're in business. Do we have news to announce or no? You called me?
No, we do not have news to announce, sadly.
Okay. Do you have a sale this weekend?
Not this weekend. Next weekend, I've got a nice small one in New Hartford. There's some nice stuff there. And then the Madison Bouckville Antique Week is coming up. That's the week following that. So the week of I think it's the 10th through. And I'll be there helping some friends who are antique dealers sell under a tent. But that's a great way to get out. And again, this is such a great way to keep things, estate sales at least, from keeping things to going into the dump. And you're helping out not only me, a local business, but families who are in a transitional period and trying to keep things out of a landfill.
What's that, Smitty? Oh, I missed the cue. All right, it's First News Keeler in the morning, WIBX.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Hi, I'm Jim Bono, your guide to all things summer happening right here in Herkimer County. From scenic views in our beautiful Adirondacks to family fun, outdoor adventures, and the many festivals lighting up our towns and villages. There's something for everyone. Visit Herkimer County online at herkimercountyny.gov/events for a complete listing of summer happenings.
Herkimer County, where history, commerce, and beauty collide. It's all happening here this season. Visit Herkimer County online and make your...
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, celebrating 100 years.
He was arrested while getting a haircut. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Ending a 5-day manhunt in Arkansas for a suspected killer accused of murdering a couple on a hiking trail.
If you commit a violent, senseless act here in our state, our law enforcement will hunt you down and bring you to justice.
Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders. That suspect, James McGann, who's a school teacher, is charged with double murder. And Clinton and Kristen Brink's deaths, they were with their young daughters when they were attacked. The 7- and 9-year-old girls were unharmed physically, but they lost their parents. The day before new tariffs go into effect on imports from around the world, there's a new trade deal with South Korea setting a 15% tariff there.
President Trump posts on Truth Social, South Korea will spend $350 billion on investments owned and controlled by the United States and buy $100 billion worth of liquefied natural gas or other energy products. South Korea also agrees to open up trade to American vehicles and agriculture.
That's Fox's Chris Foster. The president just posted on Truth Social, tariffs are making America great and rich again. And he's also reacted to Canada joining Britain, threatening to recognize a Palestinian state if Israel does not agree to a ceasefire. The president added that will make it very hard for us to make a trade deal, ending the post with, "Oh, Canada." An American negotiator goes to Israel for talks today about the war against Hamas in Gaza.
Reports indicate U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff may visit the Gaza Strip when he comes to the region to see the humanitarian situation firsthand.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv amid growing concern of starvation.
Aid trucks are now distributing supplies on a daily basis, while Israeli officials have concerns that Hamas or criminal gangs could intercept the supplies.
Palestinian officials say 48 more people were killed in attacks near food distribution sites. Severe turbulence shook up a Delta plane last night flying from Salt Lake City to Amsterdam. 25 people on board were injured, treated when the flight was diverted to Minneapolis. America's listening to Fox News.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions, like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Heroes like Austin Reese have paid a high price for our freedom. Austin served 3 deployments to Iraq. He spent 13 years with the Navy Explosive Ordnance Disposal Unit and became a military freefall instructor. But in what was thought to be a routine jump, something went terribly wrong. Austin was left paralyzed. Tunnel to Towers built Austin a specially adapted smart home. Help heroes. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
Former Vice President Kamala Harris, who lost the 2024 White House race after President Biden stopped running for re-election, has decided not to run for governor of California.
For months, Kamala Harris appeared to be the leading contender to succeed term-limited Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom. But she posted on social media that she had reflected deeply and decided not to seek elected office for now. The former presidential hopeful wrote that she'll be helping elect Democrats across the country and sharing more details in the months ahead about her plans. The Republican Governors Association released a statement in response saying Kamala Harris's political career is over thanks to President Trump. Jill Nato, Fox News.
Now back to the Biden dropout. Republicans keep investigating the former president's mental fitness and if his administration covered up a cognitive decline. A former Biden staffer answered House Oversight Committee questions yesterday.
Steve Ricchetti was known as the gatekeeper to then President Biden. But Republican House investigators hope Ricchetti is the key to unlocking answers about the cognitive state of the former commander-in-chief. In a statement, Ricchetti conceded that Mr. Biden occasionally stumbled, but said no one, quote, usurped President Biden's constitutional duties. Ricchetti appeared without a subpoena. Republicans believe O'Connor could provide the most important information. Democrats say the GOP is flailing in its probe of the former president.
That's Fox's Chad Pergham at the Capitol. The Federal Reserve has not given in to President Trump's pressure to cut interest rates, leaving them unchanged. Here's Fed Chair Jerome Powell.
Inflation's a bit above target. Maximum employment is at target. That calls for modestly restrictive, in my way of thinking, modestly restrictive stance of policy for now.
On Wall Street, stock futures are rising, up more than 100 for the Dow, up over 300 for the NASDAQ the day after a mixed market. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Good morning. It's raining, 61 degrees. Quite a drop-off in temps today. We'll see that fall, or that drop-off, I should say, for much of the day. Looking at a high only of around 70 degrees. We'll take a closer look at your forecast coming up in just a few minutes. This news update is brought to you by the Stanley Center for the Arts. The father accused of killing his daughter remains behind bars after his latest court appearance. Luciano Fradolin faced an Essex County judge yesterday where he pleaded not guilty to murdering 9-year-old Melina Fradolin earlier this month. Fradolin reported his daughter missing in Lake George. Prosecutors say the child was not abducted. Her body was later found in a pond in Ticonderoga. An autopsy revealed that she'd been drowned. Fradolin is due back in court again on August 19th. The Oneida Central School District is still trying to find a place for high school students this fall. Oneida High School was severely damaged by flooding last month and won't be open during this academic year, or this upcoming academic year. The superintendent says the goal is to find a new spot by August 7th, so there's enough time to get everything done before classes begin on September 4th. All of the potential locations are within a half-hour drive of the current high school. A former Oswego County Assistant District Attorney is pleading guilty for her role in an alcohol-related crash. Sarah Knickerbocker was sentenced to 5 years of probation after her vehicle crossed over the line into the opposite lane of traffic on Bear Road in Clay last February. Her vehicle collided with a car driven by an 18-year-old man who ended up suffering serious injuries. As part of her plea deal, Knickerbocker's driver's license is suspended for a year, and she must give up her license to practice law. And the Oswego County Health Department says 2 more mosquito pools have tested positive for eastern equine encephalitis. The infected insects were found in the Toad Harbor Big Bay Swamp in West Monroe. Officials urging people to limit their outdoor activities between dusk and dawn. And again, this is in West Monroe. I included it in the update here because this is something that's not every year, but many of the last several years has been encountered in Onondaga County and some counties just to the west. I think, in fact, Madison County has done spraying for triple E, as it's called, eastern equine encephalitis. Still raining right now, 61 degrees. In fact, it'll be raining for much of the day today. Here's Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel.
Cold fronts on the move, and after a pretty decent morning with a chance of a shower, this afternoon we're still going to be up near 90 with a few showers, thunderstorms possible. I don't anticipate any widespread rainfall, and we'll keep that chance at the early tonight, cloudy overnight, 65. Bigger changes as the front comes through tomorrow. A few showers, maybe an afternoon storm, 78. Beautiful Friday, sunny, near 80. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
All right, right now we have 65 degrees. We apologize. That was the wrong forecast. That's an outdated forecast. We do have rain showers much of the day today. Looking at a high right around 70 degrees, which is obviously roughly a 20-degree fall off from what we've seen from the last couple of days. We'll get an updated forecast for you, and we apologize. Right now, again, raining, 65 at 7:08. All right, from the IBEW Local 43 Sports Desk, the Mets and Yankees both involved in trades last night. Is it today? The deadline is today.
6 o'clock, Jeff.
Okay. The final day of July is the Major League Baseball trade deadline. On the field yesterday, the Mets swept by the Padres, the final 5-0. The Mets, though, still lead the National League East. They host the San Francisco Giants for a 3-game series that begins tomorrow night in Queens. The Mets beefing up their bullpen before the deadline. According to ESPN, the Mets acquired right-handed reliever Tyler Rogers from the Giants and righty Ryan Helsley from the Cardinals. They did give up Jose Budo, though, in one of those trades as well. The Yankees walked off 5-4 over the Rays in 11 innings last night. Ryan McMahon 2 for 4, including the game-winning RBI single in the bottom of the 11th. The Yankees have won 3 out of 4. They continue their 4-game series against the Rays this afternoon. The Yankees involved in a trade. They've acquired outfielder Austin Slater from the White Sox. Chicago will be receiving minor league pitcher Gage Zeal. Is that how you say that? Slater joins the Yankees, who are currently without star slugger Aaron Judge. To make room on the roster for Slater, the Yankees optioned catcher J.C. Escara to, Triple H Scranton Wilkes-Barre. ESPN is cutting ties with Pro Football Hall of Famer and analyst Shannon Sharp. Multiple reports say the host is one of the network's flagship shows, First Take, will no longer be with ESPN. The decisions follow a recent settlement of a $50 million sexual assault lawsuit. The case was filed in Nevada by a woman who accused Sharp of rape, emotional distress, and other misconduct during a relationship that began in 2023. Sharp stepped away from ESPN in April with plans to return for the NFL preseason. The former NFL tight end also faces scrutiny over past choking allegations at Fox Sports. And speaking of NFL preseason, it kicks off tonight with the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio.
Chargers and the Detroit Lions, Jeff. 7 o'clock.
One more, I guess, sports superstar who's been caught up in something now, who's now post-career, but often on social media and has I guess a media following. I think he does a podcast. I'm talking about Gilbert Arenas.
He got arrested.
Yes, former NBA All-Star Gilbert Arenas is accused of running an illegal gambling ring underground. He was arrested yesterday in Los Angeles and is in federal custody. Arenas and several others allegedly ran a high-end illegal poker game out of the L.A. area. Court documents include a photograph of a custom-made poker table that says Arenas' Poker Club. Arenas played at the University of Arizona, was drafted by the Golden State Warriors in 2001. He played for the Wizards, the Magic, the Grizzlies, and the Warriors during his 11-year NBA career. So that's a big story as well. All right, a busy hour coming up here. We'll continue our conversation. If you missed it last hour, there is an alleged energy drink that's not an actual energy supplement, not an energy drink, an energy supplement that is being sold in gas stations across the country. It goes by names like 7OH, Hydroxy, and Kratom. That's Kratom. Am I saying that right? Kratom? Kratom.
You are, and I think those are the ingredients. I think
Yes.
they're yeah.
That's
you said,
what you look for on the label.
Right.
I said it's being sold under the name.
Yes.
I think she said Hydroxy is one of the names it's being sold as. But this is important because it's a synthetic opioid. The federal government is looking to designate it as a controlled substance and pull it off the shelves. Until then, though, please keep in mind that it might still be available and you should not be taking it. It's extremely addictive. And I guess it gets you high to some extent. It just reminds me of when they were selling bath salts at head shops. So anyway, we talked with Fox's Tanya J. Powers about that last hour. Again, a busy hour coming up. And, Smitty, don't let me forget the Hawaika Law Firm's free money question of the day. We'll do that at about 7:45. Your chance to win how much money?
$200.
$200 on the line. And I'll get a question that's doable. I think these have been decent questions. They're all reachable. Nobody's got one. I think nobody's won one, right? Nobody got one last week. I was thinking maybe it was the last time I filled in. Somebody got a question right. But we'll do that at 7:45. Angelo DiGiorgio, Angelo the intern, as he used to be called, is sitting in as my special guest co-host this morning.
And now you're Jeff the intern, and I'm kind of like your boss here. I'm the co-host. You're some guy filling in for Bill. I'm the co-host. So I don't know who the hell you think you are.
First news, Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
River Hills Properties continues to be the fastest River Hills. Bill and Robin Monjo started, and when they did several years ago, it was all about service. Let's give people in upstate New York, in the Mohawk Valley, Utica, Rome, let's give them services they've never seen from a real estate agency. Your listing agent is with you every step of the way from start to finish. There's the book. They don't use the lockbox. They go to every event, every meeting, whether it's with the bank or there's an inspector, whatever it is, River Hills, your listing agent is there. It's all about service. And they're conveniently located with offices in Barneville, Little Falls, Utica, to the north in Copenhagen, Newport, and coming soon to Rome, and not to mention their amazing office in the Gulf Coast part of southern Florida. Sarasota, Naples, Marco Island, they have you covered, whether maybe you're staying put in upstate New York or you're considering that snowbird option. Call River Hills Properties at 315-896-1009. Nobody sells homes like River Hills. 315-896-1009.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Are you sick of being just a number or doing a mindless job? Become a craftsman in a trade. Become an IBEW electrician. The IBEW and the Electrician Training Alliance will give you all the tools necessary at their state-of-the-art training facility. Earn as you learn. Paid training while you get your certification. What are you waiting for? Become an IBEW Local 43 electrician. Call or go online today to learn more. Find your career at IBEW and let the Electrician Training Alliance light up your future.
You know the old saying, look with your eyes, not with your hands. Well, that does not apply at New York Sash.
Scott and Jill here again, inviting you to visit our Idea and Design Center showroom at 349 Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro. It's a great chance for you to not just see, but also touch and feel all of our windows and doors, siding, and bath products.
Most companies are going to force you to make a major, important remodeling decision by looking at itty-bitty, teeny-weeny photos on a website or in a catalog.
But this is your home, for crying out loud. It's important to get it right. So come in and take a look with your eyes and with your hands.
Heck, you can even smell it if you want.
Drop by our showroom from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. or Saturdays from 9 to 1 at 349 Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro.
Call New York Sash now and get 15% off windows, doors, or bathrooms. Or online at newyorksash.com. That's newyorksash.com.
Do you spend half your day walking or standing while working? If you have foot, knee, or low back pain, the Good Feet store wants to help you like we helped Tony.
Pain that I experience the most is foot pain from being on my feet all day. You're having to kind of talk to yourself through the whole shift, like, I got this, I can do this. Before, I felt defeated, and now it's like, all right, let's go. I'm ready. A whole new life, like sunshine coming on.
And here's Dennis.
Working at an amusement park, it's always on your feet. I just couldn't take it. I just couldn't believe that putting these arch supports in made that much of a difference that quickly. Good Feet just took that pain away, and I could do my job and I could take care of my family. I know what my tomorrow is going to be. It's going to be positive and it's going to be pain-free.
You deserve a better life too. Stop into the Good Feet store today. We're located on Commercial Drive across from Hobby Lobby.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Hey, Central New York, I'm Gordon Deal, and whether you're listening to WIBX from Utica to Conesville, you want to know what's going on in our country. The news is moving so fast these days, it can feel like it's hard to catch up, and that, my friend, is what my show is all about. Every Sunday at 7 a.m., listen to This Weekend with me, Gordon Deal, a show that goes beyond the headlines and brings you a lively blend of intelligent information, trending topics, and humor with stories from the U.S. and around the world. Catch This Weekend with Gordon Deal, Sunday mornings at 7 on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Hello, everyone in Central New York. This is Dave Letterman, your old TV pal. Remember me? I'm supposed to say something witty and funny here about Bill Keeler, but I've got nothing. Ever see a picture of this guy? That's a joke in itself. Anyhow, here's Keeler on WIBX.
Instead, you get Monaski. It's First News Keeler on vacation. First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX. Angelo, the intern, is guest hosting with us today. He'll be back in a second. Hey, Smitty, did you check out my T-shirt? And those of you on YouTube can see this. Obviously, if you're on the radio, you can't.
I like that, Jeff. That's very, very, very newsy. I like that.
Well, it's very newsy, but the reason my son got it for me is because it's not newsy. Will you tell people what it says?
Live breaking news. I don't care.
So the idea, the reason Carter wanted to get this for me is because obviously I used to be here full time. I used to live and breathe news and stuff that was going on, the local stuff. Well, when he reads the shirt, live breaking news, I don't care. He sees it as that when something newsworthy happens, Dad doesn't care about it anymore. And I find that hilarious that he picked out this shirt for me. So Angelo doesn't think it's funny.
All right. Well, is there any other breaking news?
You'll find this funny. Carter and Mama, as I call her often, my ex-wife, I was asking them, well, who's the character on here? It's one of the Seven Dwarfs. Carter got this for me when they went down to Florida, and obviously there's a lot of Disney-themed stuff down there.
Right.
So one of the, is it the seven? Not the Seven Dwarfs. Is that what it is? Seven Dwarfs? Yeah.
It's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Do you know which character that is?
It looks like Grumpy.
Oh, that one would work too.
Yeah.
Do you think it's Grumpy?
yeah.
Okay. So I was asking, well, which of the dwarfs is this? Is that Grumpy or Sleepy? And Danielle said, well, Grumpy, Sleepy, Dopey, Angry, Whiny, Stupid. It could be any one of them, Jeff, but it seems to fit you pretty well.
Nice.
She has a golden sense of humor. I want to talk to you about something that you've observed. For those that don't know, you have done some loft living, right? Is that
I have.
I
did. I lived in a loft downtown for a year, and now I'm moving, but I probably will end up in another loft downtown. But I'm a busy guy, Jeff.
I know you
guy,
are.
running all around town.
So, and I actually think this might prompt Wayne to call in, because Wayne has seen this and has called in about this issue before. The panhandlers standing at the intersections with signs, they're essentially asking for a donation of money without asking for a donation of money.
Anything helps.
Yeah, it'll say anything helps, God bless you, things like that. So you lived in the area where Oriskany Boulevard and Genesee Street cross.
Yeah.
Gerber's.
Yes.
Gerber's.
I live near Gerber's, what is it? Utica Coffee, the new Beef and Bird, where the old Taylor and the Cook was. Yeah, in that quadrant.
Mark, is that his name, Mark?
Mark Mojave owns Gerber's.
Yeah, he's done a great job with that building.
Gerber's is a great bar, yeah.
Yeah, great bar, but the apartments are real
Yeah.
nice upstairs. The lofts, excuse me. They are lofts, not apartments. But they're beautiful, and he's done a really good job.
Yeah, and there's a new building that opened up right on Hotel Street as well that is larger. Is a larger building.
You've observed something, though, with activity down there that I think people need to be aware of. And if you're commuting this morning, take a look, because you might be able to notice it yourself.
Today it's raining.
Well, today it's raining, but they're not moving that bed. That bed's still likely sitting there.
There's a bed in the it's not the median, but it's that green strip. It's almost like a kind of a park. There's some park benches, but there's a mattress just out there, and there's been garbage that I've seen passing, going to work in the morning and stuff, and I just kind of can't believe how bad it's become just in the past couple weeks of me passing, because I've been living downtown and been around all of these lofts and seeing friends who live in other lofts.
And you've seen the panhandlers.
And I've seen all of it.
You've
and
never
last
seen this
summer it has
before.
never been this bad, and it's saddening, but at the same time it's almost shocking that it's just people are turning their heads, and I'm sure business owners, and I think are not necessarily turning their heads, but it's still happening. You can only do so much. I mean, even though I live nearby, am I expected to go out and start picking up trash and things like that? Because I've seen trash. I park on the street. I've got a parking permit, but I've seen trash on a random morning just strewn about the whole street. And I'm not talking about someone threw their McDonald's out their window. I'm talking like it looks like somebody emptied a bag of garbage and put it everywhere.
315-736-0186. Have you seen this? What do you think about it? I mentioned Wayne by name, and I expected he would call in. Good morning, Wayne. How are you?
Hey, guys. Hey, Angelo. What's up, brother?
Wayne, it's always good to hear your voice, player. What's up?
Hey, it's funny you guys bring this up with the homeless thing. They had somebody for about 2 months was living underneath, I call it the Shenancheries Bridge, the one right after IHOP.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, the guy had set up shop like he was treating it the underneath the bridge like a loft. He had a kitchen. I mean, they got cubicles. He had a kitchen, a bathroom. He had he had them, each one of them set up differently, and storage area. He had sleeping quarters. And I don't understand how you could live under. I mean, well, I do understand, but I don't know why you'd want to live under there, because the birds go to the bathroom under there, and a lot of wildlife passes through underneath that bridge. But they finally, as of a week ago, they got him out of there, because when you went to go walk by, you're creeped out because you're looking over your shoulder, and this guy wasn't all together. You're looking over, and he's yelling stuff as you're walking by. If you're walking under that bridge or riding your bike under that bridge, the guy was yelling things and throwing things down, yelling,
"Get out of my house! Close the door!"
But they got him out of there, and they cleaned it up. But it took him, I'd say, almost 3 months he lived under there, which is, it was a nice cubicle.
So, Wayne, what Angelo was explaining to me that he saw in downtown, in that particular area, again, where Oriskany Boulevard and Genesee Street cross, in that area by Gerber's, there is that new green space since the road was redesigned, and there are benches there. But, in fact, I was over there yesterday, and there was someone sleeping on the bench. Yeah. Right, but now you're saying there is a mattress or mattresses.
No, there is a mattress.
They're putting on the grass and just kind of sleeping there.
Only one mattress.
Only one.
And it showed up maybe 2 days ago now. I know, but I don't want to make it seem like we've got a line of 10 mattresses and this is some
right. No, I just wanted a clarification.
Like wartime infirmary that they're running down there. I know there's one mattress, and it popped up maybe 1 or 2 days ago, but was. It sat there the whole day. And every now and then, you see a shopping cart or you see this, that, or the other thing. But a mattress just, it's like, and I went to school in Boston and then Chicago. And so I've been around,
bigger cities.
And I've seen, nothing really shocks me. I've watched people defecate on, the subway system before.
Is it Sealy? Is it avocado? Is it puffy? I mean, which one is it? What mattress is out there?
You want to know what, Wayne? I forgot to ask. And I do want to apologize because my journalism, I'm not locked in like I was, when I was an intern here. So I'll be there early tomorrow, and I'll chit chat with her and see what her story is. It's a twin size mattress, and it's not like it is not a blow up mattress, and it is not a cot. It is an actual mattress.
Not waterproof, not covered, nothing.
No.
So it's just probably now with the rain, it's going to sit there
soaking
and rot
wet,
if it's still
gonna
there.
Be foul, but I mean, I've seen everything get thrown on the street in this area, and it's really,
right.
And I've lived there for over a year now. So to see it just in the past 2 weeks, something change, it just seems weird to me, especially being in Chicago and Boston for multiple years and seeing how things get taken care of there. It's weird that we just kind of let it sit. And I think that when you're in a smaller city like Utica, there are a lot of more avenues that they can go, people who need the help, and there's also people who are willing to kind of step up. And in Chicago, it's like, oh, that's someone else's problem, but here it's our problem.
Well, yeah, and also I want to say, I've never, thank goodness, I've never needed public assistance, what we used to call welfare. Okay, but it would just seem to me that, for instance, in the case of the guy living under the bridge, or this young lady who put a mattress out there along Oriskany Boulevard, there have to be resources available, right? I mean, is it just a lack of
they don't want to use them because they want to be able to do their drugs or drink the alcohol or do whatever and not be told what to do.
Am I wrong? I'm not aware that in New York State, like, for instance, you can't get a SNAP card if you are on heroin or marijuana. Well, marijuana is legal,
Jeff, you can, but they want you to get into a program. They're willing to help you and go all out, but you have to be willing to go into a program to better yourself. They're not just going to, because these people trade these things off for cigarettes and alcohol and everything.
I understand, but when you say they, do you mean New York State?
They, in general, the people that want to help the less fortunate, they will help everybody if they will help themselves.
Okay, but so for instance, there are some, I guess, shelters around here, those who help the less fortunate, and they say in order for you to come in and get services, you have to be clean. But I'm talking
about an
about
alcoholic come into your house and then everything's calm, but then you have an alcoholic come in your house and they start riling things up, they're breaking things, they're arguing with everybody. That's the same thing you get from them.
No, I understand that. But Wayne, what I'm saying is, and New York State is extremely liberal in regard to this, and they give money to people who, frankly, I think you can make an argument, are not entitled to it. Somebody living on the streets would probably be, in my opinion, absolutely entitled to it. They don't have any resources. I'm not aware of New York State having any requirement for SNAP benefits or housing assistance, or anything like that.
Right? You'd have to have an ID, wouldn't you?
All you need is an ID, and then you fill out paperwork.
Yeah, most of these people don't have that. They got to have. From what I understand, because I've taken care of a couple of people trying to help them get an ID, you have to have like 17 forms of something to get an ID. You have to have like a Price Chopper card, a Social Security card. You have to have a credit card, and then they'll give you. You have to have like, I don't know, a ton of things to get that ID. You can't just walk in and say, "Hey, I'm so and so." If you don't have your birth certificate, which most of them don't, because just don't.
That's a serious problem. That's a serious problem because somebody living in a bridge likely doesn't have their Social Security card and their birth certificate in their back pocket. Let's be honest.
No, they've got them in their safety deposit box.
Oh yeah, right. Very funny. But seriously, how do you get somebody help like that? You can't because they don't have a Social Security
card.
They
want to help them. They got to want to help themselves, and it's like a process. They want you to come in and show that you're going to help yourself. Help better yourself, clean yourself up.
But that's
dress
not a
little
requirement.
bit better.
Wayne, you know, in New York State, if it was a known thing that they would turn assistance away. Again, they were giving gift cards and free hotel stays to undocumented migrants who came over the border and got bussed up here.
They help them more so than the homeless.
Right, with no documentation and no birth certificate and I was going to say gift card, no Social Security card, right?
Yeah.
So
they have reps that help them people though.
And you know that if somebody who was on drugs, who was receiving SNAP benefits, for example, or was receiving housing assistance, if those were being taken away because they were using drugs, the left would in New York City, they would be up in arms about this. And we don't hear about it, which makes me think that's not the case. All right, so Smitty, you got a comment on the YouTube page. Wayne, hang with us.
Yeah, Deeds writes,
yes.
Can someone tell Wayne that guy actually doesn't want to live under the bridge?
No,
yeah, well, we kind of know that.
We know he doesn't want to live under the bridge, but that's the question I'm asking. There are resources out there. How do we connect the guy who lives under the bridge with those resources? There's a link in the chain missing here. Anyway,
yeah, you probably literally got to have a guy walking around or some people walking around to talk to them. And just like when you try and get a stray dog in the house, it's sad, but that's the way it is.
And just as there's always two sides to the coin, I'll just say to Deeds, it's very likely that the person who lives on, and Smitty, you were saying there was a guy right around the corner from where we are in Marcy here was living under the bridge.
Yeah, right up the road on the bridge when you come down from Fast Track to come down by Marcy Discount Beverage, the bridge right over there to 49. There was a guy there living last fall in the bridge.
So it's funny because you say nobody wants to live under a bridge, and I generally agree with that. But we hear about this in, San Francisco, other places where there are large homeless encampments. There have been stories done where they talk to these individuals and they say, no, I want to live on the street. I don't want assistance. I don't want help. I'm happy where I am. Please leave me alone. And I don't think they say it quite as politely as I just did, but essentially that's the message, that they don't want help. Wayne, do we need to hit anything else?
No, I think it's a mental issue when it comes down to something like that. You're just not thinking right.
I think it is. Again, who wants Deeds? I get it. Who wants to live under a bridge? But
yeah, I guess it's better. It's better than living some places to stay under a bridge for shelter. But the fact of the matter is, when everybody sees you there, people bother you, and nobody wants you there. Whether it's right or wrong, nobody wants you there, and people want to help you get out of there.
Wayne, I appreciate the call.
Later, guys.
That was Wayne checking in. I've told the story before that Wayne had sent me photos. There was somebody, I'll say, I don't mean to say it in a negative context because I think these people need help, genuinely. But I'd say a panhandler, somebody with a sign who's looking for money. And this particular area was in South Utica by where Friendly's is. And they were at the intersection, and they had a sign, and Wayne had sent me photos. There's a lot of businesses over there. So some of the passers-by would give this individual, I think, and his girlfriend, it was a couple, would give them canned goods, okay, and food sometimes, and not just money. And Wayne has photos. One of the businesses right next to that intersection, there was a mound, a pile of all the canned goods that hadn't been opened or used or consumed. And they were like, I don't want food. I don't need peaches in a can. I don't need peas or beans or corn or anything, any kind of canned goods. Or what else did they call it? There was some boxed goods. Again, I don't think you should be giving boxed foods. I mean, the homeless guy's not going to go someplace and bake a cake. He doesn't have a place to do that. But the point is, they didn't want the food. They wanted the money for the sake of buying drugs. So all those canned fruits and vegetables, there was literally a mound of them next to the building. Like it looked like a sand pile, but it was all canned goods. Smitty, we're going to stick with the comments on YouTube. I want to apologize. There's a couple days this week where I said we're going to get to our comments on YouTube. It just ran out of time, so you got to hold me to this. What else do we have here?
Some guy in the 315 writes, illegal immigrants move to the front of the line for benefits. And then he writes, just think those panhandlers make more money than most people do who work 8 hours a day.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that they make more money. I mean, what's $16 an hour times 8 times 52 is roughly what, $32,000, $33,000? If I'm close on this, I'm going to be impressed.
One more time, 16.
16 times 40 times 52.
16 times
It's roughly 32,
40
33 grand.
times 52.
Yeah.
33,280.
They're not making 35 grand a year. I really don't think they are. If they are, I mean, maybe I need to look into to picking up some hours on the weekend.
There you go.
On Oriskany Boulevard.
I'm sure they do shifts.
That's another thing people have said. They believe that some of these individuals are working collaboratively and they're in shifts.
However, and I don't mean to cut you off, but that's, a little bit of cynicism and being naive
absolutely.
and understanding, it's like everyone wants to cheat the system. So if there's some scammer out there, there's scams in every single industry. So if somebody sees an easy way to make money, why wouldn't they hop on, piggyback onto all of this?
And thank you, Wayne. The word I was looking for is non-perishable food when I was talking about boxed goods. But
Nice.
yeah, you're right. Tim chimes in and he says, Angelo should go check the sleep number on that bed. Before, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yes. Well, you didn't laugh at all. And then he also says, unfortunately, the only way to help many of these individuals is institutionalization. It is not humane letting people literally die on the streets. And I agree with Tim here. There seems to be, and I don't want to make this political, but some on the left have kind of said, let them live their life and do what they want. And I just don't. The argument is institutionalizing them against their will is not humane. Letting them sleep on the concrete with a curb as a pillow, no hygiene, no food. There's actually a guy in Rome on my route that I see almost daily who I've seen him literally pull food and half-drunk bottles of Powerade out of the trash, and that's his breakfast. That's not humane either.
In Mohawk Acres Shopping Center, I think I know who you're talking
yes,
about. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
I deliver over there.
Yeah. Have you seen the other guy that wears like the gowns and different color gowns and walks down there?
That's the guy I'm
boulevard?
talking about. That's the guy I'm talking about. I've also seen him have outbursts and scream at people who were just walking by where he happened to be sitting or napping or whatever the case may be. I don't know what the answer is, but it seems to be a growing problem. Your comments are welcome on our YouTube stream, or you can weigh in at 315-736-0186. Was there another comment up there? What did Deeds say earlier in the show?
He was talking about...
the kratom.
Yeah.
We were talking
the
about
New
these...
Hartford town supervisor allows it to be sold in smoke shops that he approved to operate in New Hartford.
Okay, so I'm not positive on this, but I'm pretty sure the New Hartford town supervisor doesn't approve what items are sold. That's all regulated by New York State, I believe. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but he's not approving that. And
Maybe
if
the
Deeds
county
doesn't,
executive would know about it when he's in.
we'll
next
ask Tony
hour.
when he's in. If Deeds is upset because there are smoke shops or head shops or vape shops in New Hartford, I don't think legally they can ban those. If they're selling marijuana, there were some restrictions that could be put in. Municipalities could opt out of it. I remember initially that was the case. But if you're selling vape products or bongs and bowls, which is considered like drug paraphernalia, I don't think you can ban that type of a business from your municipality.
Deeds just chimed in, right, but he approved those types of stores to be in businesses.
But again, it's like a strip club. The mayor or the town supervisor doesn't say, yes, we want a strip club. It's a legal business and they're allowed to open as long as it's zoned appropriately. You can't say, yes, I want this kind of business, and no, I don't want this business because if they're both legal. Has a bit of a misunderstanding there. Do we have another call? All right, if you want to weigh in, 315-736-0183.
And then Deeds just chimed in. Sorry, Jeff, to interrupt you. They get busted and then they reopen under a different name.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, absolutely. We'll take a quick time out, come back with your free money question of the day. I'm going to need your help on this. It's First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
A Mazda certified pre-owned vehicle is a tremendous value, and right now during Mazda's More to Move You sales event at Steet Ponte Mazda, you can enjoy one of our best late model Mazdas from our Mazda certified pre-owned vehicles. We offer them with a 160-point inspection and balance of the 7-year 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. And if you need a lower price or payment, let's make your deal on a Mazda certified pre-owned vehicle from the dealership that has achieved first place nationally in customer satisfaction, Steet Ponte Mazda.
Are you struggling with neck pain, back, knee, wrist pain? This is Bill Keeler, and I'm talking about Revive Softwave Therapy with Dr. Timothy Del Medico. For me, this has worked. It is FDA cleared, non-invasive. It's all about making the pain go away. The new patient special is just $99. Call today, 315-725-8427. Revive Softwave Therapy with Dr. Timothy Del Medico. 315-725-8427. Call today.
Aches and pains aren't trophies. They're just barriers keeping pros like you from getting the work done. You know this business can be back-breaking. All the more reason to partner with someone who has your back, like Clinton Tractor and Ferris Commercial Mowers. Ferris is about helping you finish strong and feel good doing it, with patented suspension technology that allows you to mow faster and get more work done in comfort so you can feel good tomorrow. Visit Clinton Tractor today or at clintontractor.net. Ferris, work hard, feel good.
There's no place like home with a mortgage from AmeriQ Credit Union. Apply today at ameriq.org/home. Equal housing lender.
The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is ready to take care of your medical needs. Whether you're in need of a new family doctor or you're just looking for a second opinion or you're interested in the OMT procedure, osteopathic manipulation treatment. It's something I go through every month. It really keeps you in shape. It keeps everything flowing through your body. It makes sure you're walking properly, your back is aligned properly, your neck and spine aligned properly, and you're walking straight. It can prevent problems down the road. It's about a 30-minute procedure. I do it every month. Dr. Monaski, Dr. Zielinski. It's a procedure that really makes a difference. And a great option, just call them at 315-507-4751. Acupuncture, Dr. Kosminski. They have all of these services available under one roof at the Falcon Clinic, conveniently located in Washington Mills. And have you been tested for hepatitis C? Prevalent in baby boomers, 100% curable, 100% curable. Dr. Shemaleski is Hep C certified. Call today, 315-507-4751, or visit them online at their website, thefalconclinic.com. The Falcon Clinic, located in Washington Mills.
Now through September 1st, get up to $180 back by mail on a Bridgestone prepaid MasterCard. Get up to $80 when you buy a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone tires. Get an additional $100 when you make an eligible tire purchase with your CFNA credit card at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Whether you're in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, or Herkimer, their team of professionals are ready to serve you. Subject to credit approval, restrictions apply. Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Online at tallmanstire.com.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and service in Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit BMEcompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
Utica and the Mohawk Valley Mattress Express's summer sale is on, and this is a big one, folks. Pay attention. Get a king for the price of a queen for the price of a full, and a full for the price of a twin. Save, save, save. Flex head beds included. These are beautiful therapeutic select mattresses starting at just $4.99, folks. Why pay more? No credit check payment plans. We do them every day. 5 years, no money down to pay for qualified buyers. That includes massage chairs, folks. Full line of massage chairs. In New Hartford on Commercial Drive next to Pet Supplies Plus. In Oneida, in the Glenwood Plaza where the movie theaters are, folks, go to mattressexpressny.com. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS. No appointment necessary. King for the price of a queen. Queen for the price of a full. Full for the price of a twin. Only at Mattress Express.
The official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. They have the most amazing cold brew coffee. Their coffee is Seattle's best. Whether it's iced coffee or piping hot, it's made fresh every single morning and throughout the day at Daylight Donuts. Their donuts, croissants, bagels, everything is made fresh every single day. Try the egg white frittata, made with egg white, spinach, tomato, and feta cheese on a bagel, English muffin, or their croissant. Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. And there's the pistachio lattes, muffins, iced coffee, and the 32-ounce Double X iced coffee to keep you going. A speedy drive-through. Visit Daylight Donuts in New Hartford.
Hey, it's Crash Gladys from Speed Freaks. Are you still paying full price for gas? Stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump today. Use limited time promo code ADULT and get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. Listeners are making $200 to $300 a year just from buying the gas they already needed. Don't wait. Download the free Upside app now and use promo code ADULT to redeem your 25 cent per gallon bonus. That's promo code ADULT. Yeah, at first I thought it was too good to be true, but it's completely legit. Plus, you can cash out anytime. Don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now by using limited time promo code ADULT. That's promo code ADULT for a limited time 25 cents per gallon bonus. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Your home should be the safest place for your child to grow. But in Utica, many homes built before 1978 may still contain lead. Lead paint can quietly harm your child's health before you ever see the signs. Help is available. The Lead Safe Utica program offers free lead hazard testing and safety repairs for eligible families. Test today for a brighter tomorrow. Let's build a lead-safe future together. Visit leadfreemv.org to see if your family qualifies.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
It is First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. We are up on YouTube this morning and, of course, streaming live always on the free WIBX 950 mobile app. Jeff Monaski, and I'm sitting alongside of a good friend of mine, a former intern of mine, who thinks he's the boss now. Well, it's Angelo the intern.
I'm the captain now.
Yeah, okay. It's time for our free money question of the day. It's from the Hobeika Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobeika. Smitty tells me today's prize is worth $200. This one is absolutely doable. I say that every day. So does Bill. Smitty, what caller?
Caller 4.
Caller 4 right now, 315-736-0186. Coming up next hour, we'll talk with Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacenti. You know, I made a point a couple weeks ago about the county logo being on the new field at Murnane, and we'll get his reaction to that. I wonder what he thinks about the point that I made, which is local schools can no longer have a Native American team name, and they can't have imagery of Native Americans in their logo. However, Oneida County's logo is a Native American head. So they go and they play tournaments on this field, and they're not allowed to have the Native American logo or name, but there's
emblem
two
is also
Native American logos on that field.
right on win.
And it's on win also, yeah. But the whole thing that the teams can't have it, and they go and play a tournament there, and the field is adorned with it. Isn't that ironic? Isn't it? And again, we're talking about state policy versus county policy. One of the things I want to ask Tony is why could the governor have gone as far as to ban that for municipalities? I assume the answer is no. I think otherwise she would have done it. Free money question of the day. This is Joe in Utica. Hey, Joe, how you doing?
How are you?
Good. Joe, for $200, this is doable. The current price of a standard rectangular 1-ounce letter stamp, also known as a forever stamp, is 78 cents. In fact, it went up earlier this month. I think it was July 13th. The price increased from 73 cents to 78 cents for a standard 1-ounce stamp. Here's my question. How much does it cost today to mail a standard postcard in the United States? Ready? Go.
$1.50.
That's a good guess. Just waiting for the buzzer there. It's actually the opposite. It's a little cheaper to send a postcard. It's 56 cents to send a standard size postcard in the U.S. So listen, I appreciate you playing, and you have won. You're not going to go away empty-handed. We have a $25 all-in-one. Can you pull his down? I think he's in the car. There's a lot of wind there. Joe, stay on the line. Davey's going to get your information. You've won a $25 all-in-one food and fun gift card. It's good for Aquavino. It's good for Taylor and the Cook. It's good for Babes at Harbor Point and the concessions at the Adirondack Bank Center. You can also use it in the gift shop at the Adirondack Bank Center. So thanks for playing each and every day. The Hobeika Law Firm's free money question of the day. And again, even if you don't get it, we don't send you away empty-handed. It is 7:53. Another quick timeout. First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
The Utica Stampede and Rodeo and Expo comes back to the Adirondack Bank Center. 2 days of rodeo fun with 8 different events, with over 30 of the best bull riders in the Northeast competing for large cash prizes. Get your tickets now at EmpireStateTix.com, in person at the Adirondack Bank Center box office, or over the phone by calling 315-790-9070. It's the Utica Stampede and Rodeo, presented by Don's Ford, Clinton Tractor, and best enjoyed with Coors Banquet, the official beer of the rodeo.
When my business was taking off, our old phone system just wasn't cutting it. We needed fewer missed calls, more flexibility, and better visibility into customer conversations. That's when I found OpenPhone.
OpenPhone is the all-in-one system for small businesses and growing teams. Manage multiple numbers from one device, work seamlessly as a team with shared numbers, and stay organized with AI-powered call transcripts, summaries, and next steps, so nothing gets missed and your team responds faster. OpenPhone integrates with tools you already use, like Slack, HubSpot, and Zapier, so everything's connected and efficient.
Having tried just about every relevant small business phone system, OpenPhone is truly in a league of its own. It's now essential to how we run our business, and I couldn't be happier with the value it brings.
See why over 60,000 businesses trust OpenPhone. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/try.
Hi, I'm Jim Bono, your guide to all things summer happening right here in Herkimer County. From scenic views in our beautiful Adirondacks to family fun, outdoor adventures, and the many festivals lighting up our towns and villages. There's something for everyone. Visit Herkimer County online at herkimercountyny.gov/events for a complete listing of summer happenings.
Herkimer County, where history, commerce, and beauty collide. It's all happening here this season. Visit Herkimer County online and make your spring and summer unforgettable.
GPO Federal Credit Union is here to help when it comes to planting the seeds for a stronger financial future. If you're buying a new vehicle, or maybe you know someone in your family who's a first-time buyer, at GPO, no cosigner is required. Their first-time auto buyer loan is option perfect for design to help people hit the road with confidence. Ready to put down roots, whether it's your first home or if you're looking to upgrade or downsize, they can help you. And they can help you at GPO when it comes to building your credit and your savings. Their Save and Boost credit loan helps you do both with on-time payments that improve your score while growing your savings. And this month, GPO is offering free credit reviews at all branch locations. No appointment is needed. Just stop in and let the people at GPO help. They're not just about accounts and rates. GPO is about helping you grow personally, financially, for life. GPO Federal Credit Union. Your journey, their commitment, federally insured by NCUA membership, eligibility required. See branch or gpofcu.com for details.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, we are back here live Thursday morning, the final day of July. You know, it was on this morning in 1975 that one of the most famous labor leaders of all time was reported missing after he failed to return home the previous night, though he is popularly believed to have been the victim of a mafia hit. Conclusive evidence was never found, and Jimmy Hoffa's fate remains a mystery. It was 50 years ago today.
You know, I heard
Jimmy
he's got
Hoffa was reported missing.
A mattress down on Hotel Street.
Good segue. We talked about some of the panhandlers and the homeless situation in downtown Utica, and I don't want to be all negative. You live downtown?
I do. I live in a loft.
You are not one of the homeless.
I'm not. No, I do. I do pay my rent every now and then.
But we don't want to be negative on downtown Utica. There is a lot of good things, growth, investment, and positivity down there.
Yes, I loved living there for the past year. It's been a lot of fun. I think just the change in that stretch near Utica Coffee downtown. There's I think there's 3 new restaurants. There's Silk, which is a cocktail and dessert bar. They opened up recently, and then there's Beef and Bird, which is set to open up, and then a sushi place I think going in down there too. There's a lot of great things happening, and I've always told people, especially when it comes to a city that you care about, you have to be the change you want to see. So everyone says, oh well, you can't open up a business in Utica because people from X, Y, and Z, they're not going to go down to downtown Utica. Well, then you start going to downtown Utica. If you're sick and tired of seeing people, talk smack about it, then go down there, enjoy some of, the local activities and restaurants and bars. And when you do that, other people will follow suit, So be the change you want to see when it comes to downtown Utica.
Yeah, and there is a lot of positive change going on and investment downtown. So it's a lot of good stuff. We're not harping on the negative. It's just an observation. And I think in order for it to stay growing and busy, and a lot of positive activity, certain things like this need to be addressed in some way.
And there's a lot of ways to go before we get to a point where it's really fantastic. But I think right now, compared to what I remember growing up, I mean, I don't think my parents would have thought too fondly about me living in a loft downtown. Now it's completely different. And the insides of these apartments are gorgeous. All of the buildings, they got different amenities, different styles. Character, exactly.
Yeah. So speaking of downtown businesses, it was Restaurant Week in Oneida County. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
It's been last week.
Was it last week?
We are really off with we've got no sense of time.
Well, I really have no sense of time ever. But we went out a couple times with our group for for Restaurant Week, and there were 2 restaurants in downtown Utica that we tried to go to that just had tremendous waiting times.
Yeah.
Which is a good problem to have, I guess. Nobody wants to wait. But there were 2 popular restaurants in downtown Utica we tried to go to, and we opted to go someplace else because we were looking at like a 45-minute wait. And, Jeff doesn't like to wait for his meals.
No.
So it's First News Keeler in the morning. Are you staying? You got to hit the road, huh?
I do. I've got a dentist appointment.
Boy, that's a common excuse around here, huh?
Well, last week when I was filling in, they canceled it.
I thought we weren't going to talk about this.
All right, fine. Well, you want to know what? You bring it up. You try to make me look like a fool.
Coming in next hour, Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacenti. A lot of topics to get to. We'll ask his thought on the homeless situation downtown as well. It's First News Keeler in the morning, WIBX.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, celebrating 100 years.
Surrender and release the hostages. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump just called on Hamas to do that. Posting on Truth Social, it's the fastest way to end the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, where there's growing international concern about starvation. And Palestinian officials say 48 more people were killed in attacks near food distribution sites.
This comes as we're learning the country of Canada plans to recognize the state of Palestine at the UN General Assembly in September, something Israeli officials quickly rejected.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Israel, where U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is going for talks today. Canada joins Britain and France threatening to recognize a Palestinian state, prompting President Trump to write on Truth Social, that'll make it very hard for us to make a trade deal, ending that post with, "Oh, Canada." Tomorrow, new tariffs go into effect on imports from countries worldwide, and to avoid a 25% charge, South Korea has worked out a deal with the U.S., lowering it to 15%.
The Koreans are going to essentially provide the president and the government, the U.S. government, with the ability to invest $350 billion in important industries.
U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer. Later this morning, a federal appeals court will hold a hearing on a challenge to the Trump authority to impose these tariffs, filed by some import businesses in 12 Democrat-led states. A suspected killer arrested in Arkansas.
Because of their hard work and investigative skill, we were able to take a monster off the streets.
State Police Colonel Mike Hager. The suspect, James McGann, is charged with double murder, accused of killing a married couple while they were hiking in a state park with their daughters Saturday. The 7- and 9-year-old girls were not injured physically. Turbulence rocked a plane last night, injuring 25 people on board a Delta flight from Salt Lake City to Amsterdam.
One passenger on the flight described a sudden drop as flight attendants were in the aisle with those serving carts, saying, quote, "Every one of them flew and hit the ceiling. The beverage carts also flew into the air."
Fox's Chandler Payne. The injured were treated when the flight was diverted to Minneapolis. America's listening to Fox News.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions, like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Heroes like Austin Reese have paid a high price for our freedom. Austin served 3 deployments to Iraq. He spent 13 years with the Navy Explosive Ordnance Disposal Unit and became a military freefall instructor. But in what was thought to be a routine jump, something went terribly wrong. Austin was left paralyzed. Tunnel to Towers built Austin a specially adapted smart home. Help heroes. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
Days after a gunman who drove from Las Vegas to New York City went on a shooting spree in a Manhattan high-rise building, killing 4 people, there are funeral services for the off-duty police officer who was among the victims and working security at the time.
Officer Didarul Islam will be eulogized at a mosque in the Bronx neighborhood where he lived and served at the NYPD's 47th precinct. City officials and fellow officers will mourn with his wife and children. The service comes as police continue to delve into the background of Shane Tamura, the man who shot and killed Islam and 3 others and wounded a 4th before taking his own life. Wednesday, it was revealed a co-worker at a Vegas casino sold Tamura the rifle used in Monday's shooting. Police say they plan to talk to Tamura's parents and get warrants to search his phone and laptop. In New York City, Gernal Scott, Fox News.
A city councilman in Virginia is now a patient at a burn center in North Carolina. the day after somebody set him on fire at a magazine office where he worked.
Magazine publisher Andrew Brooks posted a Facebook video saying a suspect attacked staffer Lee Vogler, who also serves as Danville City Councilman.
An individual forced his way into our office carrying a 5-gallon bucket of gasoline and poured the gasoline on Lee.
Vogler ran, but the suspect caught up to him and set him on fire. Police say they busted that suspect near the incident. He's been identified as Shotzi Michael Bug Hayes. The cops say the attack was the result of a personal matter. Jill Nato, Fox News.
We'll get an inflation update this hour. The morning after the Federal Reserve, citing concerns about tariffs raising prices, left interest rates unchanged, upsetting President Trump, who wants a big rate cut. He just posted on Truth Social, Fed Chair Jerome Powell is too stupid and too political. On Wall Street, stock futures are rising. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
It's still raining, now 64 degrees. I think we're coming backwards a bit. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. This news update is brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. The father accused of killing his daughter remains behind bars after a court appearance on Wednesday. Luciano Fradolin faced an Essex County judge where he pleaded not guilty to murdering his 9-year-old daughter, Melina, earlier this month. Fradolin reported his daughter missing in Lake George. Prosecutors, though, say claim he killed the child before leaving her body in a Ticonderoga pond. An autopsy revealed that the child was drowned. Fradolin is due back in court again on August 19th. The Oneida Central School District is still trying to find a place for high school students this fall. Oneida High School was severely damaged by flooding last month and won't be open during this upcoming academic year. The superintendent says the goal is to find a new spot by August 7th, so there are enough time to get everything done before classes begin on September 4th. All of the potential locations are within a half-hour drive of the current high school. A former Oswego County assistant district attorney is pleading guilty for her role in an alcohol-related crash. Sarah Knickerbocker was sentenced to 5 years probation after her vehicle crossed over into the opposite lane of traffic in Clay last February. Her vehicle collided with a car driven by an 18-year-old man who was seriously injured. As part of her plea deal, Knickerbocker's driver's license is suspended for a year, and she must give up her license to practice law. A much cooler day on tap. We have, it's me, a much cooler day on tap. We have a drop of about 20 degrees from what we've seen over the last couple of days. Right now, raining and 64 degrees at 8:07. Your forecast, a good chance of showers for much of the day today, really throughout the day and into tonight. Today's high only in the low 60s to upper 70s. Friday, again, shot at some rain showers, a high back up into the mid-70s, looking at a high around 77. This weekend, though, gorgeous sunshine, Saturday and Sunday. Right now, forecasters say we'll see a high on Saturday of 75, Sunday 80 degrees, Monday looking nice and sunny as well with a high in the low 80s. Raining right now and 64 degrees coming up on 8:08. All right, from the IBEW Local 43 Sports Desk. The Mets were swept by the Padres 5-0 as they were shut out yesterday in San Diego. The Mets now in the midst of a 3-game losing streak. However, they were involved in a trade. They've acquired some relief for the bullpen. ESPN says reliever Tyler Rogers is coming from the San Francisco Giants, and righty Ryan Helsley is coming from the St. Louis Cardinals. The Yankees got a walk-off win against the Rays, 5-4 your final in 11 innings. It was Ryan McMahon, 2 for 4, including the game-winning RBI single in the bottom of the 11th. The Yankees and Rays wrap up their 4-game series coming up this afternoon. The Yankees adding some depth to the outfield. They've acquired outfielder Austin Slater from the Chicago White Sox. The Sox receive minor league pitcher Gage Zeal in return. Slater joins the Yankees, who are currently without star slugger Aaron Judge. To make room on the roster for Slater, the Yankees option catcher J.C. Escara to AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre. What was the biggest trade that we've heard? It looks like Eugenio Suarez is headed from the Diamondbacks back to the Seattle Mariners. There's also a report that Brian Hayes is headed from the Pittsburgh Pirates to the Cincinnati Reds. ESPN cutting ties with Pro Football Hall of Famer and analyst Shannon Sharp. Multiple reports say the host of one of the network's flagship shows, First Take, is no longer with the company. That decision follows a recent settlement of a $50 million sexual assault lawsuit. The case was filed in Nevada by a woman who accused Sharp of rape, emotional distress, and other misconduct in a relationship that began back in 2023. And former NBA All-Star Gilbert Arenas is accused of running an illegal underground gambling ring. He was arrested Wednesday in Los Angeles and is in federal custody. Arenas and several others allegedly ran a high-end illegal poker game, or games, I should say, out of a Los Angeles area home that was rented by the former NBA player. Court documents include a photograph of a custom-made poker table that says Arenas Poker Club on it. He played for the University of Arizona. In the NBA, he was with the Warriors, Wizards, Magic, and Grizzlies during his 11-year career. That's a big story that broke yesterday. It is 8:10. Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacenti set to join us in studio next. First News, Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and service in Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit BMEcompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
A couple years ago, I was in the bathroom at the airport when I dropped my smartphone in the toilet. Not smart. I was multitasking when I should have been focused on the job at hand. Embarrassing, but I'm not alone. According to Google, 7 million other multitaskers accidentally dropped their phones into the bowl last year. A gentle reminder that right now you can get yourself a brand new Samsung Galaxy A36 absolutely free with a $35 plan from Pure Talk. The A36 comes with scratch-resistant Gorilla Glass and a battery that'll last all day, along with unlimited talk, text, and data on America's most dependable 5G network. In other words, it's tough and smart. Something to think about next time you're multitasking in the necessary. Just dial pound 250, say keyword micro to get your free phone today. You can make the switch in just 10 minutes. That's pound 250. Say Mike Rowe to switch to a no-nonsense smartphone and a company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Do you suffer from sore feet, back, knee, or hip pain? The Good Feet Arch Support System has helped many people find relief, like Tim.
I'm always telling my colleagues who have sore feet, this is the greatest thing. I'll even take my shoe off and show them. And I believe in the product so much. When you have something that works, you kind of want to share it with people. It worked for me, maybe it can work for you.
Or do you wake up at night with heel pain, like Crystal?
I would wake up in the middle of the night with all kinds of pain in my heels and in my arch. So I went to the Good Feet store. And ever since then, I've been pain-free. I wear them every day. I wear them when I walk, at the gym, when I work. They're great.
Get back to walking, working, and exercising and imagine a life without pain. No shots, no surgery, no medication. You've got nothing to lose but your pain. Stop into the Good Feet store today for a free fitting and test walk. We're located on Commercial Drive, across from Hobby Lobby.
To doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store, thanks to the Good Feet store.
The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is ready to take care of your medical needs. Whether you're in need of a new family doctor or you're just looking for a second opinion, or you're interested in the OMT procedure, osteopathic manipulation treatment. It's something I go through every month. It really keeps you in shape. It keeps everything flowing through your body. and make sure you're walking properly, your back is aligned properly, your neck and spine aligned properly, and you're walking straight. It can prevent problems down the road. It's about a 30-minute procedure. I do it every month. Dr. Chmielewski, Dr. Zielinski. It's a procedure that really makes a difference. And a great option, just call them at 315-507-4751. Acupuncture, Dr. Kosminski. They have all of these services available under one roof at the Falcon Clinic, conveniently located in Washington Mills. And have you been tested for hepatitis C? Prevalent in baby boomers, 100% curable, 100% curable. Dr. Chmielewski is Hep C certified. Call today, 315-507-4751, or visit them online at their website, thefalconclinic.com. The Falcon Clinic, located in Washington Mills.
When my business was taking off, our old phone system just wasn't cutting it. We needed fewer missed calls, more flexibility, and better visibility into customer conversations. That's when I found OpenPhone.
OpenPhone is the all-in-one system for small businesses and growing teams. Manage multiple numbers from one device, work seamlessly as a team with shared numbers, and stay organized with AI-powered call transcripts, summaries, and next steps, so nothing gets missed and your team responds faster. OpenPhone integrates with tools you already use, like Slack, HubSpot, and Zapier, so everything's connected and efficient.
Having tried just about every relevant small business phone system, OpenPhone is truly in a league of its own. It's now essential to how we run our business, and I couldn't be happier with the value it brings.
See why over 60,000 businesses trust OpenPhone. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
River Hills Properties continues to be the fastest growing real estate company in central New York. Nobody sells homes like River Hills. Bill and Robin Monjo started, and when they did several years ago, it was all about service. Let's give people in upstate New York, in the Mohawk Valley, Utica, Rome, let's give them services they've never seen from a real estate agency. Your listing agent is with you every step of the way from start to finish. There's the book. They don't use the lockbox. They go to every event, every meeting, whether it's with the bank or there's an inspector, whatever it is, River Hills, your listing agent is there. It's all about service. And they're conveniently located with offices in Barneville, Little Falls, Utica, to the north in Copenhagen, Newport, and coming soon to Rome, and not to mention their amazing office in the Gulf Coast part of southern Florida. Sarasota, Naples, Marco Island, they have you covered, whether maybe you're staying put in upstate New York or you're considering that snowbird option. Call River Hills Properties at 315-896-1009. Nobody sells homes like River Hills. 315-896-1009. 1009.
Before there was social media, streaming, and even color television, there was radio. Remember the golden days when you had to tune in to hear what happened to Hopalong Cassidy, or perhaps the Green Hornet? What if you could relive those days again? Hi, I'm Greg Bell, the host of When Radio Was, a show that's dedicated to the very best of radio's golden age. From classic performances by Jack Benny to tales of terror on Lights Out. It's all here on When Radio Was, starting every Sunday at 11 p.m., only on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Which classic broadcast will you hear next?
100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, back here, First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX. Smitty, I think that would be considered a conspiracy theory. We'll get to that in just a second. Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacenti joining us shortly here on the program. He'll be with us for the rest of the hour. I've got a couple questions for him. If you have a question or a comment, you can do it on the YouTube page, or you can give us a call at 315-736-0186. A story here got my attention this morning. It's from CNN. It's on their homepage now. Smitty, where did COVID originate? How did we get the COVID-19 virus that crippled really the country? China, but
they said in like a place where monkeys were.
All right, so I think if you talked to the average person on the street, there's still a lot of controversy about where it originated, how we had to deal, why we had to deal with it, how it leaked out into the public. I say leaked. I guess that's telling on what my opinion is. Earlier this year, the CIA said COVID most likely originated from a lab leak from the lab in Wuhan, China. That was from the CIA. The U.S. House Committee on Oversight and Accountability said that there is mounting evidence that shows COVID originated from a lab leak in Wuhan, China.
The Wuhan flu, as someone says on YouTube.
The Wuhan flu. Okay, CNN has a story this morning that says late last month, in late June, the Scientific Advisory Group for the Origins of Novel Pathogens, a group of independent experts convened by the World Health Organization, published an assessment of the origins of COVID. This is, again, via CNN. The report concluded that although we don't know conclusively where the virus that caused the pandemic came from, a zoonotic origin with spillover from animals to humans is currently considered to be the best supported hypothesis. SAGO, as they're called, that's the Scientific Advisory Group on the Origins of Novel Pathogens, did not find scientific evidence to support a deliberate manipulation of the virus in a laboratory and subsequent biosafety breach. This follows a series of reports and research papers since the early days of the pandemic that have reached similar conclusions that COVID most likely emerged from an infected animal at a live market in Wuhan and was not the result of a lab leak. But conspiracy theories about COVID's origins persist, and this is hampering our ability to prevent the next pandemic. As experts in the emergence of virus, we published a peer-reviewed paper in Nature Medicine in 2020 on the origins of SARS-CoV-2, the virus that caused COVID. Like SAGO, we evaluated several hypotheses for how a novel coronavirus could have emerged in Wuhan in late 2019. We concluded the virus very likely emerged through a natural spillover from animals caused by unregulated wildlife trade in China. Since then, our paper has become a focal point of conspiracy theories and political attacks. That's what officials say there. I do have concern. They say that there are conspiracy theories that hamper our ability, or the health community's ability, to prevent and treat the next pandemic. But at the same time, it's 2025. This emerged 6 years ago. We still don't know where it originated from conclusively. You have the federal government here in the United States, the CIA, House oversight committees, who say there's mounting evidence that it came from a lab leak. And then you have this independent group of experts who say we have essentially mounting evidence that it came from animals and it was transmitted from animals to humans. 6 years on, and we still don't know this or have any kind of definitive evidence to prove one way or the other. I think that hampers our ability to treat the next pandemic, right? So you can point to conspiracy theories. Everyone's always going to have an opinion on things. That's never going to change. To say conspiracy theories hamper us from treating the next pandemic or being prepared for it, I would say we don't even know how this one started 6 years in. We're 6 years on from when this thing began, and you can't tell me definitively where it came from. That hampers your ability to treat the next pandemic, not people who have various opinions on social media. So, I don't know. That's that sticks in my craw. I guess it just annoys me. We have a conspiracy theory here on our YouTube page. You want to share the comment?
Yeah, it's from Ja Wick. John, if Bill was in the hospital for it, it's his business. If it's for a cause, we hope it all is well with you, Bill. We love you and always wishing you the best.
Yeah, absolutely, and we feel the same way. But Bill's not away doing some treatment.
And then Ja Wick wrote, "Bill deserves a break, no matter what he chooses to do."
Yeah, right. He does. Bill's here every single day, grinding it out here on this program, and he's on vacation. Some people are essentially saying that he's off getting some kind of a treatment, and that's not the case. Bill will be back Monday, by the way. We're almost
if he doesn't get sick. Remember the last year when he came back from his vacation, he got COVID, Jeff.
Bill often does contract something when he's away.
I joked around with him before before we did because the Friday before he left, he did the broadcast himself at the Tucalana Club for the World Series of Botch. So on Thursday, we were talking about he were going over some stuff for me to make sure I did this and did this. And I said, yes, Bill, I will do it. I will do it. So I said, have a safe trip. And then I looked at him and said, see you back on Monday, the first week, Monday in August. Hope you don't get sick. And he kind of chuckled. Davey, I'll try not to.
He often does when he comes back. Traveling, you're exposed to a lot of people and their germs. Also, you're exposed to different bacteria that maybe your body's not used to.
Well, Bill's
when you're in
got
other
that
places.
Bill's.
Yeah. So our free money question of the day today involved the United States Postal Service. My real question was, how much does it cost today to send a postcard? And the answer is 56 cents. Obviously, earlier this month, about halfway through the month of July, the rates increased, the stamp price increased to send a standard letter, basically. It went from 73 to 78 cents. Where am I going with this? Here's why I bring all this up. Have you seen the new postal trucks?
Yeah.
They got the huge windshield. And I don't know if you're familiar with this, but many people have said to me, don't the new post office trucks look like they came out of the movie, the animated movie, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs?
Yeah.
Do you know? Do you
Yes,
get that
I do.
reference?
Yes.
I don't get that reference. But a lot of people have said that. So I just wanted to bring that up. In fact, somebody texted me this morning to bring it up. So there you go. I did it. Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacenti in studio. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
We haven't had this in a long time.
I know. You had everybody on the last 2 weeks but me.
Well, we reached out 2 weeks ago, and this is what you said would
kidding.
work. I know you're a busy guy.
It's okay.
We're going to touch on a number of topics. Again, if you have a comment or a question, send it to our man, Uncle Smitty. You can do it on our YouTube page or call it in 315-736-0186. I'm not sure if you heard about this. I mentioned it 2 weeks ago. I think the first day I was sitting in this seat, and then I mentioned it again this morning. And it's a great job. That Murnane,
oh, yeah,
it's beautiful.
Field.
I love it. Obviously, there's always pros and cons to everything. I've done a couple Sunday doubleheaders there in the heat and the sun, and it's 15, 20 degrees warmer on the field than it is.
As always.
Yeah.
As anywhere.
Well, with the rubber
yeah,
in there,
that makes
it
it a
heats
little
up.
warmer. It makes it a little warmer.
A couple times you can see
steam.
The steam coming up off the turf there. You know, one thing people don't realize, you have a number of guidelines, restrictions. When teams are on the field, things they can't do. No bubble gum.
Right.
You don't want that getting caught up in the turf.
Yep.
No seeds.
Sunflower seeds.
Yep. Which is a common thing that people use in baseball.
It is.
But another one is sugary soft drinks.
Yes.
So you can have like a non like a 0-calorie Gatorade or Powerade, but you don't want the ones with Gatorade.
Right.
This is standard.
With sugar.
This is standard for turf fields.
It is.
You want to explain the reason why? I had
Well,
no
the
idea
reason
about this.
The reason why is everything. You know, I mean, the turf itself obviously it's not grass, so it's not gonna absorb into the ground or whatever. You have the different layers, and it'll make it very difficult or cause sticky spots or other ways of which it will cause problems on the base paths, or because that field in it is entirely turf. There are some fields that have the grass infield, or at least the dirt, the dirt around the base paths. I mean, you could do it different ways. So all of that really really would first of all cause harm to the players, depending on if you did get gum stuck there, or if you had sugary stuff that really made that, it's just like anything on your carpet that gets sticky, you're going to have a problem.
So you mentioned some other schools. Camden and Frankfurt have the turf infield, but a natural grass outfield.
Right.
And I've heard of several other schools, school districts that locally that are looking to do, as you say, some combination of that, either entirely turf, infield, outfield, or just infield, turf, outfield, natural grass. But I was surprised. I have a confession to make. The first game I did there, I brought a Gatorade with me. Now, I didn't spill it. I consumed the whole thing. Okay. But somebody said to me, you're not supposed to have a regular Gatorade.
Got to have it off the
Got to have it off the turf.
Off the turf.
And I said, really? I think That doesn't make
Yeah,
sense. And they said it attracts insects,
well,
and they eat that stuff.
Yeah,
they eat the turf and the stuff in
The other
beneath.
point is, insects, and the fact that insects will gravitate to this sugar like any other surface in your house or outside or whatever. And if they do get in the turf, I mean, that is a bigger problem because they can break it down, and they will break it down, and they'll break down, and then you have, pardon the pun, bald spots, things like that.
Oh, I know about bald spots.
Throughout some of that turf. So you got to be, there are specific requirements on turf.
So it was something that caught my attention, and I think anybody who's not familiar with it, they might see that and go, "Well, why?" Yeah. And that's the answer. It attracts bugs and insects.
Same with the seeds and the other things, because then they get ingrained in there, and if things chew on them, then you got problems.
Absolutely. One of the other things that I noticed, in fact, I was doing a game, and my partner, my fellow umpire, who I was assigned to do the game with, I think he's got kids in the Whitesboro district.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about Whitesboro had the name change and the logo change.
Sure.
And as we're walking onto the field talking about it, we look down and we go, there's two Native American logos on the field. That's part of Oneida County's logo.
It is.
And I said, isn't it kind of ironic that kids from districts where they've had to make this change come to the field, beautiful field, beautiful, it's bad, a little Trump impression, and then there's two Native American logos on there.
Right.
Any reaction to that? I mean,
no. I mean, look. I know that there's been that controversy over the names. I mean, as in my time in talking with the Oneidas, obviously, look, the Oneidas. I mean, we're named. This county is named, from the Oneidas.
Mm-hmm.
So and that logo has been a part of our history for a long time for this county. Now, there were some variations in past years, prior to me, where they changed, some of the flags or whatever. We went back to, the original logo, or the original county seal, if you will, of the Indian head with Oneida County around it. And, the point is we're not degrading, or we're not using, insulting or any kind of racist language in that.
Mm-hmm.
It can be argued, I presume, but either way, I mean, on some of these other things, not on us, because we're called Oneida County. With respect to the teams, but the point of the change, I think, on the state level, and I never quite understood that, because I understood it, but the point that the Oneidas made is, if the name was derogatory or racist, and the term, what was the Washington Redskins was just that, and they look at the Warriors as that, because it gives a connotation of fighting and savagery, or something in that regard. But they're not opposed. You still see the Atlanta Braves.
Mm-hmm.
So because there are Braves in the context of Indian and Native American tribes. There are Chiefs, Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
There are and that the Cleveland Indians was not that was a change on their own. I mean, I think it was more the mascot that was drawing the attention to it. So, the issue of it is about the name itself, not about the logo, unless the logo depicts something
that could be construed as discriminatory, racist.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where it gets some of that does get lost in translation. But you still see teams out there that still have Native American names. Even in the college ranks. Florida is it Florida State or Florida?
Florida State.
Florida State.
That's the Seminoles. Florida State Seminoles.
Right, which exist.
Yeah, and my understanding is the tribe, the Seminoles in Florida, they are not offended by it at all.
Right.
I think they look at it as a compliment.
Right, and when we kind of restored the Indian head, to the seal, or continued to carry the seal, because when I became county executive, there were like 3 different seals. there were, some departments were using, the Oneida head, the Oneida picture and that seal. Some were using the Erie Canal. Some were using strictly a map of the county. And it was like, okay, we got to figure out what it is. And going back in history and working with the History Center and looking at it, it was the Oneida picture. And so, and just being clear, because then there was, well, it's not really Oneida, it's a Mohawk. There were differences of opinion of what it was. And then, but then in talking to the Oneidas directly and saying, is this a fair, is this an accurate depiction? Because there's questions of the number of feathers, of how the headdress is and what have you. But, came through that, nope, that's it, that's good, and we were good to go.
So I would assume you obviously have a tremendous relationship with the Oneida Indian Nation. There's a lot of partnership to the benefit of the local area. I would assume Ray Halberters never said, "Hey Tony, can you change this emblem, change this logo?"
No, he hasn't.
The seal,
and
as it's called.
When we redid the flag, the county flag with that seal on it, I brought it to their attention. Said, "Are we doing? Is this anything that depicts anything falsely, or or whatever?" And they were, they were fine with it. So, and that is what we use.
So you reached out and asked.
Oh yeah,
for
we
their...
did just to clarify, because there was a question. I mean, I really was going to use it anyway because it really is in the history of Oneida County and its establishment in 1798 when the county was established, and called Oneida after the Oneida people because of the Battle of Oriskany, because of the the Revolution and all that stuff, all the history that was there, and there was that seal that emanated over time into its history and into its logo, and every county has a seal. Every county, all 62 counties have a county seal that depict something from their history, that over time had been put in place. So, that's why we went back to that universally.
I asked about the Oneida Nation.
On the field, just to clarify, we're trying to figure out where to put it. And we thought, in the outfield, you're not going to see it, especially from the stands because it's so far.
It's kind of a ground level.
The
if
nice
you were
thing,
well above,
we don't have a big enough backstop, whereas like the Yankees have the NY behind home plate. We don't have that kind of spacing there. So the best determination was put it on each baseline.
Yeah, and it's a great facility. And somebody said to me, and I think this is the case, because this is a county facility and taxpayer dollars were used to build it. Really, teams from all across the county are allowed to use this field.
Absolutely.
It's not necessarily one team's home field.
We from the arrangement that was originally put in, because that field used to be owned by the school district many years ago.
The Utica School District.
Utica School District, and when the county took possession of it and began using it for what were the Utica Blue Jays when they first came, and then the Blue Sox back in the 70s or whatever. The one caveat or the one issue was that it would be used for Utica City School District's games. So Proctor does have some exclusivity on that.
So
field
that is their home field during that season.
As part of their season, and we continue that practice. But we are opening it. It is a county facility, and Legion ball plays there. We've had Legion tournaments there in the past. We hope to get them back again now that we have turf. Plus, we also have other plans. We have more work to do. We have to replace, some of the seating on the first and third baseline. New press box.
I noticed there
scoreboard. We've got a lot of work to do.
There used to be those blue seats that were along the first and third base lines.
They'll come back.
Oh, they are coming back.
We'll have the variation of where they'll be.
Okay, because I still see them. You can still see them under the bleacher seating.
Right.
They're still there. So
we're gonna, but all of that seating has to be redone.
Okay. All right. Well, I love the facility. One more question on that. Sure. So we talked about the Oneidas, what they thought of it. Did New York State, Kathy Hochul, ever say, "Hey, would you consider changing this"? No. Okay. I just wanted to ask.
It's our seal.
It's your seal, right?
It's our seal.
We're talking with Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacenti. Any questions or comments so far? All right. If we do have them, we'll get to those after this. A quick timeout. Back with more First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
Now through September 1st, get up to $180 back by mail on a Firestone prepaid MasterCard. Get up to $80 when you buy a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires. Get an additional $100 when you make an eligible tire purchase with your CFNA credit card at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Whether you're in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, or Herkimer, their team of professionals are ready to serve you. Subject to credit approval, restrictions apply. See Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair or online at tallmanstire.com.
A Mazda certified pre-owned vehicle is a tremendous value, and right now during Mazda's More to Move You sales event at Steed Ponte Mazda, you can enjoy one of our best late model Mazdas from our Mazda certified pre-owned vehicles. We offer them with a 160-point inspection and balance of the 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. And if you need a lower price or payment, let's make your deal on a Mazda certified pre-owned vehicle from the dealership that has achieved first place nationally in customer satisfaction, Steed Ponte Mazda.
Are you struggling with neck pain, back, knee, wrist pain? This is Bill Keeler, and I'm talking about Revive Softwave Therapy with Dr. Timothy Del Medico. For me, this has worked. It is FDA cleared, non-invasive. It's all about making the pain go away. The new patient special is just $99. Call today, 315-725-8427. Revive Softwave Therapy with Dr. Timothy Del Medico. 315-725-8427. Call today.
Make this season all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension. Visit Clinton Tractor on Meadow Street in Clinton to see the full line of Ferris mowers.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
Rosansky Family Dentistry is proud to introduce a new member to their practice. Welcome, Dr. Kataria. Dr. Kataria grew up in India and practiced dentistry there for 4 years before coming to the States. She's a member of the American Dental Association, New York State Dental Association, 5th District Dental Society, and the Oneida Herkimer County Dental Society. Dr. Kataria is passionate about providing compassionate, gentle, and comprehensive care for each of her patients. She understands that one's dental health is a personal matter, and discussing it involves earning the patient's trust. She strives to educate her patients on prioritizing their overall well-being and providing treatment using modern techniques to allow for a comfortable and efficient experience. Dr. Kataria starts at Rosansky Family Dentistry August 4th, so call to make your appointment at 315-732-1981 or visit uticasmiles.com. Their office will now offer Friday appointments with Dr. Kataria from 8 a.m. till noon. Rosansky Family Dentistry, 1 Paris Road, New Hartford.
It is going to be damp and cooler on this Thursday with rain increasing from this morning through the afternoon as the high hits 71. That rain will exit later tonight with a low of 54. Tomorrow clearing with a high of 78. Then a beautiful weekend with sunshine on Saturday and Sunday as high temperatures hit the low to mid 80s. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
WIBX. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, it is First News Keeler in the morning. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. Jeff Monaski sitting in. We're joined by Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacenti. We got a few things we want to get through here. We've got about 15 minutes to do it. Let's go to the YouTube, our YouTube page first. And you got a question about some legal question, I guess.
Yeah, some guy in the 315 wrote, why hasn't he fired his attorney? That should be disbarred yet.
So what is this issue, and can you talk about this?
I mean, there's an ongoing case, obviously, that has, that this is a part of, and so I won't comment on that. In terms of the attorney in question, it is not, I won't discuss personnel, but it's not an area of any, of any legal disbarment. So I'll leave it at that and just say that, she's no longer in the position of county attorney, but she has, as I stated at that time, in another part of that office.
Okay. last hour we talked a little bit about the homeless situation.
Sure.
Not only in Utica, but in the county. I see it in the city of Rome as well. Are you involved in that process, and what is being done to address those who are maybe living under a bridge, or, as Angelo said, there's a mattress over alongside Oriskany Boulevard where somebody was sleeping?
Yeah, well, we are involved. Obviously, it's a big part of what we do through our Office of Community and Family Services. We deal with emergencies all the time. We deal with people who are displaced or homeless. There are different kind of categories here, and we've been, we've always had a problem, and every community does, and I'm assuming we will continue to have problems, throughout. Now, there's a lot of factors that lead to it, and there's a lot of unknowns and misrepresentations about it, because there is a great mental health problem throughout society today, and especially here. Addictions, obviously drug addiction, alcohol addiction plays a factor. Other areas of homelessness, come into play, whether, people have been displaced or domestic violence or other pieces, come into play. Mm-hmm. So in all that, we're placing, hundreds of people a day in various shelters and places. Now, those are the ones that are willing to come in for assistance. There is a great piece of this population that does not and refuses care, refuses assistance, refuses whatever. And we've worked with various agencies on street engagement, literally going up to these individuals and trying to get them help. We can't force them into any kind of treatment or housing or facilities or whatever rehab we're looking at. So there are, they say, well, why don't you just take them off the street? Okay, where do we put them?
Right.
If they're not willing to go. Now, sometimes they are willing, but it's on a short-term basis. The warming centers we do in the winter, the cooling centers we do in the summer, they can stay a while, but they're not held at bay in that regard. So there is a great problem. We've worked very closely in the cities with certainly the city governments, the police departments. In Utica in particular, over the years we have engaged with the individuals that you see on the various intersections with the signs, and anything will help and whatever. And we've gone with a caseworker and a police officer to say, okay, we have, we can help you, come with us. Mm-hmm. They run away. I mean, very few come with us because they don't have to. So we're, it's a problem that every city, and especially every county government is dealing with, because we are the main mechanism of, dealing with people in need, and the cities don't have that capacity. While they can work with us and work with other agencies on, street engagement, we're the ones who foot the bill, and we're the ones who provide the assistance if those individuals are willing to come in and deal with it.
I do have a question on that. You say that the county foots the bill. Are you the administrators of programs like SNAP and housing assistance,
Yes,
but it's paid for by the state?
It is. I mean, housing assistance. Yeah, I mean, public assistance is wide ranging. Obviously, there's three main cores of that. It's public assistance that deals with housing costs. If rent. Other, incidentals. SNAP, which deals with
things
food.
like that, right?
HEAP, SNAP, which deals with food, which is the old, what we used to be called food stamps in the
correct
in the years past, and now there's transitioned into SNAP because we went to the card rather than the actual coupon piece. So those have changed over time, and then of course Medicaid is the big piece because that's the medical assistance. So you have all of those areas of public assistance. And we are the ones that are able to provide emergency assistance, which, as I mentioned, the literally hundreds of people a day, anywhere from 150 to to 200 people could be placed in various shelters, hotels, or any other place we need to place them if they need that kind of assistance and if they're willing to come. Now, the second piece is, if we provide them shelter, then we, can, get them into a full-fledged, program of assistance, but they have to be willing to do that.
For programs like SNAP, Medicaid, housing assistance, there is no requirement that they pass a drug test, right?
No, that is never, that's something that, everybody, harps on us about. It's out of our control. It's not deemed, under state guidelines or regulations or constitution that, you can't do that. Now, I will go back to, in placing them in shelters, they're not supposed to be, the shelters won't take them places like
those are private organizations, or those are county facilities.
But no, they're private organizations, but that receive funding in different ways. The rescue mission will not take someone who is not in a rehab program.
Okay.
For whether it's alcohol or drugs, so they're not going to take that individual. We allow them in those warming centers.
It's a requirement to be in a what if you don't have a history of drug or alcohol?
No, you can still you can
still do that. Okay,
you can still if you're homeless for some other reason.
Sure. Okay.
And there like I said, there are various reasons. I mean, there are domestic violence I use as one, or just loss of job, education, other factors. Individuals that are displaced from their home. For whatever reason, by their parents, by their grandparents, by whomever. So there are so many different categories of why someone is homeless.
Absolutely. I think perception, it's not necessarily the truth, but the perception is sometimes when you see these individuals, and I'll give what I've seen in Rome, and then what maybe some people see in downtown Utica, there is an assumption that there is a drug addiction problem there, and I'm sure sometimes that's true, and sometimes it isn't.
In many cases, in some of those more continuum homelessness issues, it probably is one of those factors. It probably is either drug addiction or mental health.
Okay.
Or a combination of both.
Let's see. I have a question here. At what point this is from Andrew, at what point do you just implement some sort of loitering law and get serious with people and through tough love? And I assume when he's talking about loitering laws, those are the people standing at the intersections.
Right. Those are more, and I know communities across the country have looked at that. So the question becomes, okay, and whether it's, we would not do that, first of all, and not because we don't want to do that. We can do that. That's a jurisdictional piece for a city, town, village. The problem with that is, okay, so now you don't allow them to loiter, so you take them off one corner.
They're going to go somewhere.
You fine them, if they have the money, or if they don't, you incarcerate them for, you can't. You're not talking a major, a misdemeanor or even a felony here. So how long do you keep them, incarcerated if they can't pay a fine, and then what happens? So there's a lot of other, there's a lot of different means and factors here. So loitering is not, okay, you arrest them, now what?
Right, that's a good point, and the cost associated with that.
But what's the next step? So are you?
It doesn't really.
And are you fixing?
Problem.
Are you fixing the problem? Because you arrest them, you bring them into court, depending on what you charge them with. You're not going to charge them with. Loitering is a violation as far as I know it. Although some, whether the DA or sheriff want to correct me, that's and on that. So where are you gonna put them?
Mm-hmm.
And then when they get back out, what's going to prevent them from going to another corner?
Right.
I think it's just a bigger issue in society now about there has to be more beds for mental health. There have to be more beds and more treatment programs to get people into that. And obviously we've done a great deal with the opioid task force and everything we've been doing, on these street engagement teams, that focus on addiction and homelessness. So, the more that we can do that, the better we can, keep those numbers down.
A comment from Tim, and you don't have to react to this. We got a couple minutes left in the program. I suspect the hidden cost of the homeless population is tremendous. For instance, UFD overdose service, hospital costs, emergency housing, and we deal with a loss of quality of life for all citizens.
Yeah, I think that's a great capsule of what we deal with, and it's difficult for all of us, and this goes back to some of the states, removal of the number of beds, in particular in our area, that were at the psych center that helped, alleviate some of these problems, and especially on the mental health side, and on drug addiction. That's another thing that we're working on. We're about to open the stabilization center with our partners at UCP. That is it's a 23-hour, 59-minute center that can help people kind of get cleaned up and kind of.
Why do you say 23 hours, 59 minutes?
Because you can't restrict them any longer than that. You can't go over 24 hours.
Wow. Okay, that's an interesting.
There's
note.
There's some. Again, on the volunteer basis, so we can get them there, we can help them, but we can't hold them. Unless they're willing, and then you can move them into
involuntarily. You can't do more than 24 hours.
Right, you can move them into some other type of program. But the model of on stabilization has been used significantly. We've been trying to do this for a number of years, and it has been proven to help alleviate some of these problems.
I want to end on a positive, and I hope this doesn't come across the wrong way. I'm gonna refer to them as partners in government. Jerry Fiorini and Richard Flisnick, longtime legislators. I know you've worked on, I'm sure, dozens, hundreds of pieces of legislation with them. They are set to retire. You want to send them off with some nice words?
I will. There's more to come. It's still got, every time I talk to Jerry, literally every day, and Rick, has been there a long time and really a great voice on so many different issues. We've got a few more months of their tenure, so I don't want to say goodbye yet or cast them off.
I didn't mean to jump the gun.
No, that's okay.
Somebody told me, did they just recently get awards?
Yeah, they got awards up at the Boonville Fair. Boonville Fair recognized them, for their service, which was fitting. And because Jerry has been. And I worked with Jerry my first tour of duty in county government. So Jerry and I go back over 40 years as friends and colleagues. I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss both of them. Jerry and I as chairman. Jerry has been chairman. He's the longest serving chairman in New York State on the Board of Legislators.
Is it something like since the 70s?
No, he's been on the board. He's been on the board since 1980. I think that was his first year.
Okay.
He had a separation of a year or two, somewhere in between there, but then he's been chairman, I believe, since 1997.
Oh, approaching 30 years,
and
28 years.
Yes, and obviously in all my time as county executive, obviously he's been chairman, and we've had a tremendous relationship, and I couldn't do all of these things that we've done without his leadership on that board. And Rick has played a vital role. He's the public safety chair for a number of years, and the last several years I'm trying to think how many years as Ways and Means chair, which is the prime committee on that board. A lot of knowledge there in those two gentlemen.
Yeah.
And that's tough to replace.
And how government
That's tough
functions.
to replace. It does.
If you're trying to accomplish something, doing it in the proper order is kind of important, and I think most people don't realize that. It's overlooked.
And it's some years ago we had some years back we lost Jim D'Onofrio, who was a longtime legislator, and that goes to the argument of, and I won't get into it now, but I'm sure someone will harp on me about term limits. Yeah. But I think that's where the argument comes in. Look, these are individuals who have given so much, but really contribute, and really have a wealth of knowledge. And that is hard to replace, and look at what they've been able to accomplish. So, and they've worked every 2 years for their, for their next term. So that's where I disagree on term limits. So I'll just throw that out.
That's a fair point.
Somebody will come back
That's
at
a
me
fair
the
point.
next time.
I just want to say, and I'll put a bow on this because we're just about out of time.
Sure.
I guess to piggyback on the point you made, it is great to bring new ideas to the table. I absolutely agree on that. But if someone's in that position, they don't understand the role and the function of government and how to achieve what it is they want to achieve, the effectiveness goes away. So I understand that the point that you made. Oneida County Executive Anthony Picenti, thank you for your time this morning.
Great being with you guys.
I don't speak for all the umpires, but I have not heard a negative complaint, negative comment on
about
it.
Murnane.
I like it.
And there's more to come.
It's a little hot in the sun.
That's
That's the one thing.
It's always hot.
That's the one
Especially
thing.
Especially when you're wearing all that gear.
You're cooking the sun a little bit, but it also makes the game, I'll quickly tie it up with this, it makes the game go quicker. You don't get those weird hops when the field isn't properly maintained. You get some true hops. We're out of time. Have a great day. Back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Looking forward to that.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome,
W295EI,
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, celebrating